Dressed to kill. Won't you come and join the party? Dressed to kill.
And for the fifth time in school history, the Yukon Huskies will play for a national championship at the Final Four. They go wire to wire, knocking off the Miami Hurricanes 72-59. And our national title tilt is set. It's Yukon and San Diego State Monday night in Houston.
Yes, and away we go. Hell yeah. Tonight is the night we crown a champion in college basketball. And, you know, we do this daily here on the Daily Ticket, of course, on the station. We talk about these seasons, and it's amazing how quick they go by. But this college basketball season, we've been all over it from day one, the first week of college hoops, all the way to where we're at right now. It's been a hell of a ride. If you've been following along and, of course, tuning in and watching all that, we appreciate that. Hopefully you've won a couple plays as well over the course of the full NCAA basketball season. And tonight, you just heard the man, we got ourselves a championship game that features the Yukon Huskies, who have been dominant. I think they're averaging 23 points per game, a margin of victory. They are covering their spread by 15.5 points in every game this tournament run. And for a lot of people out there, it's going to look like, as far as in their minds, the game that was played on Saturday against Miami. 72-59 final score. DraftKings Sportsbook showing 7.5. 131.5. Be sure to use Brace as the promo code. Let them know that you're listening to us here on the Daily Ticket. What I would say is there's other ways to get involved, specifically about that game, and we're going to break that down as far as 1st to 10, first half, second half, live wagers. We're going to go over anything and everything that DraftKings is offering for tonight's national championship game. Again, UConn has been the best team in college hoops. Right. There were a few teams that we could go ahead and circle and say that they've been on the same playing field as UConn, but this should not shock anyone what we're seeing. UConn is as good as advertised. And when you do blow teams out, and let's not lose sight of the fact that there were 2 games this tournament run that UConn only led. Matter of fact, I don't know if they trailed at half, but I think they had 2 games. Iona, they were only up by 1.5, and St. Mary's, they weren't up by that much at half either. Yet they're perfect as far as ATS is concerned. They blow these teams out of the water. So these are some of the things that we're going to discuss as far as the approach for tonight. Should we be getting on the first half action? A lot of people want to wager. A lot of people want to get involved. It's the final game of the college basketball season. Let's go. Let's get ourselves a green check mark. Of course, from UConn. And that was an easy one. We all enjoy those rocking chair victories. Miami just didn't hit their shots from downtown. And oh, by the way, UConn's got a hell of a defense. But the game of the night on Saturday, FAU and San Diego State. Run it back, please. What a game, 72-71. And if you missed it, this is how it ended.
It's Greenlee to inbound, 11 to shoot. It's to Martin.
Laying it out.
Then to start tonight, giving it back to Davis. It's 5 to shoot, taken on. A rope, and it's blocked. Pulled down by Mensah. They have the one timeout. Are they going to take it or not? They don't have the scorers on the floor. It's Butler with 2 seconds. He's got to put it up. And he wins it. He wins it with the jumper. A San Diego State miracle.
Yeah. Well, full disclosure, you know where I stood heading into the game. I was catching 2. I was definitely sweating to the fact that it bumped up to 3 on DraftKings Sportsbook before that game started. I was pretty upset with myself not getting that read right. I did not think that number would have went that direction, but it did. And I was definitely kicking myself in the backside going, this is going to be a tight game, and you're going to need every point possible, as it always is, right? Lucky for me, it did not play out that way, but again, full disclosure, I believed so much that FAU was going to win that game that I got involved with some exactas, and one of them more specifically, the 3-1 championship exact matchup, UConn over FAU. Like that's the one I wanted. And of course, throw that in the trash. That no longer is worth a damn. So FAU goes down, and what a great game it was. That was tremendous. And look, FAU, I thought, had the horses to pull away, and they did. They got up as much as 13 points on Saturday. There it was. I'm like, this is it. Like, San Diego State's not going to score. They're not going to be able to get back into this game. But defensively, they make life difficult. And I don't think UConn, and I'm not here to say that FAU got rattled, but there was definitely some moments as far as running that offense that they didn't look all that confident. Let's put it that way. And San Diego State, hell of a defense. Nobody's doubting that, right? Look at what they've done throughout the course of this tournament. So I was surprised. Shocked, no, because it's college hoops. It's madness. These are kids. Who knows? But surprised that San Diego State got back in that game and then, of course, hit the game winner. And it's unfortunate because FAU had a shot to go up by 3, and that's all I was saying. I was like, just go up by 3. And if we get OT, we get OT. We live with it. But didn't work out like that, and San Diego State advances. And as I said, national championship game tonight. Let's go. That was the CBS call. I believe this would be the radio call. I want to see if this is Westwood 1. I apologize, but this is a different call. Let's hear how this sounded. Compare it to Jim Nance.
Davis with 5 to shoot against the rope. Driving down the right side of the lane. Runner won't go. Rebounded by Mensah. 6 seconds to go. 5 seconds. Butler to the right wing with 3 seconds. Butler in the corner with 1 second. Hoists the jumper. It's good! It's good! Lamont Butler sends San Diego State to its first national championship game. 72-71. The Butler did it for the Aztecs in Houston.
Well, it was a great game. Unfortunate result. Again, I'm all right with that. Went 2-0 on Saturday, but that was a kick in the pills. 2-0 as far as those games are concerned. Kick in the pills, though, because I really, really wanted to see that championship game between UConn and FAU. But, oh, well, we got San Diego State and UConn. And I think this is going to be a good game. But on the other side, you will hear from Joe Tanzi and myself, and we will give you every play possible in this game. We're going to talk about it. We're going to let you know what's in our bag, and hopefully we can all cash together. I'll give you the theme because I know what Joe is going to say, and I'm pretty much in the same ballpark as him. Don't overthink it. Don't do it. Not tonight. Don't do it. If you believe that UConn is as good as advertised, if you have been riding UConn from the beginning, maybe UConn caught your attention 2 games ago, whatever. Maybe you're late to the party. Bottom line is don't overthink this game. I'm pretty sure we got ourselves a pretty special college basketball team in UConn. Danny Hurley said it best. I got 3 NBA players. I'm just trying not to screw it up with the other 2 guys that are out on the floor. Now, those 3 players that he is suggesting on the starting 5 for UConn, they're not lottery players, though. They're not lottery picks. We're talking about into the first and hopefully the second for the 3 players that UConn has that will be going to the NBA. But again, really good team, coached well, poised, ready for the moment, and have been playing at a high rate all season long. Daily Ticket just get warmed up on a Monday. We're going to have a lot of fun today. We got craziness from the weekend, including women's college basketball. And of course, everybody wants to give I can't believe those girls talk trash. Like just for a second, envision what took place between those 2 ladies at the end of the game and put them into men's bodies. And what are you saying? You're not saying a damn thing. Stop it. Only thing I'm saying is the ref should have teed her up. There was still a second on the clock, right? Yo, tee her up. And the coach as well. That's the only thing I was saying. She deserved a technical foul for all that, but come on, people, get a grip. Anyways, that was a pretty good. And if you listen to this show, you know darn well where I stand in the women's game. It was incredible to tune in this year to see. Excuse me. Wow, am I drawing a blank on her damn name? Maggie from Villanova. Oh, I'm terrible. Seacrest. Oh, I'm terrible. Anyways, she was magnificent. UConn girls were incredible. Baylor girls were incredible. Indiana, the Twins with Miami, the women's college basketball game. That's what I would rather be discussing. I'd rather us be focusing on how much it has grown over the last year. Maybe I'm late to the party on that one, but unbelievable the talent they have on the women's college basketball level. A lot of fun to watch that game yesterday, and just too many horses for LSU or for Iowa to deal with. I was surprised they beat South Carolina in the previous game, but of course, we're talking about the great one and Caitlin Clark. I mean, she was just unbelievable. Stop me if you heard this one. She kind of reminds me of Steph Curry. All right, Daily Ticket, just get warmed up. Joe Taylor's going to join me next. We'll talk some college hoops. Of course, we'll be discussing from the weekend Phillies. We got Sixers. We got NBA to catch up on. A lot to discuss from Major League Baseball. I'm not trying to go too over the top as far as the opening weekend is concerned, but there are some ways that I feel like we can make some money, especially off the stolen bases prop. We'll get into that a little bit. But on today's show, coming up next, Joe Tanzi, 4:30, Gerald Colton. We'll talk all things Philly sports there. 5 o'clock, Sean Bernard getting caught up with everything in the NBA and the 76ers. Tough loss last night to the Milwaukee Bucks, but just get me to the playoffs already, please. And then we are going to be efforting our good friend, Aaron Torres from Fox Sports Radio, who is down in Houston for tonight's national championship game. He's been there all weekend for the Final Four, so I'm definitely looking forward to trying to get Aaron on the show. I'm sure he'll be in the 5 o'clock hour. And then John Jansen will be rolling in here as well, because he's got you 6 to 8 p.m. tonight on the Line Change presented by Bet Parks. We're just getting started. Don't go anywhere. All things college hoops, other side. Joe Tanzi back after this.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Virginia 95 northbound Allegheny up to Bridge, the Vine Expressway heavy both ways, Schuylkill to Broad, westbound Schuylkill, Jan, University to Girard, and Boulevard to Belmont, Boulevard northbound, so Schuylkill to Broad. All right, to tell total traffic.
This report is sponsored by DBH IDS.
When someone gets hurt, we know who to call. But what about a mental health crisis? The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline offers free, confidential support around the clock. Don't hesitate. Call 988. It's okay to not be okay. Remember, 988.
In this week's Marketers Report, Chris Brandt, Chief Marketing Officer at Chipotle Mexican Grill, weighs in on the power of audio.
We've used audio to reinforce what we're showing on TV, what we're showing in other digital channels. When your priority is driving reach, boy, everybody seems to listen to the radio.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, conversations, trusted influencers, insights, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
Jake from State Farm here to answer your what ifs.
What if I need a policy, but I just can't choose?
An agent can help you choose. At State Farm, we're there for your what ifs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
Hey guys, this is Kenan Thompson. I have a problem with you. Yes, you. None of y'all told me that AutoTrader has millions of new and used cars that I can shop from home. I thought we were friends. I put smiles on your face, but I'm not smiling. No one told me that with AutoTrader, a dealer can deliver cars to my home, or that I could shop by price on AutoTrader. No one. Consider this friendship that you just learned we had officially over. Finally, it's easy. AutoTrader.
Everybody! Drum roll, please, for Rita's brand new Berry Delicious Gummy Bear Ice. This exciting new ice is a spoonful of frozen fruity fun. Stop by for a free sample of new Gummy Bear Ice at Rita's today.
If
you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
If you're shopping for Easter, Kohl's is unmatched. To prep for the celebrations, I treated myself to a few Sephora beauty must-haves. Plus, I found great basket stuffers for my girls and got an extra 40% off cute outfits for them to wear to Sunday brunch and all spring long. Oh, and I earned Kohl's Cash. So take it from me. You need to hop over to Kohl's right now. Select styles. Offer ends April 8th. Sephora coupons and Kohl's Cash do not apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com. Off and running. It is a Monday, and we have ourselves a championship game going down this evening featuring UConn 4th seed, San Diego State 5th seed. Nobody cares about those seeds moving forward, right? We got ourselves two good teams, and it should be a really good game this evening. Sean Brace, Joe Tanzi with you here. And Joe, of course, we want to jump right into this evening's festivities and fire up DraftKings Sportsbook and get that number here for everybody. But ultimately, let's go ahead and look back at what just took place on Saturday night. And of course, I'm going to start with the game of the evening, FAU and San Diego State, buzzer beater. FAU had it. I thought for sure that they were going to pull away, and you know, I kind of felt like this team had more offense than what San Diego State was going to show us on Saturday night, and therefore would not be able to keep up with FAU once they hit the gas pedal and got settled in that second half. Didn't happen. FAU scored. San Diego State deserves a ton of credit in my eyes. When I look back at that game, that's where my mind goes. Of course they won, but there's so many things I can go from San Diego State. The way that they played defense, they were just all over FAU, making it difficult at times. And then, as I just said, one thing we don't think about San Diego State is being able to score, right? And then when they were down double digits, I just didn't think that they would come back. But this team has that championship mentality. A hell of a game.
Yeah, and it comes down to experience too, right? I mean, they're the oldest team left in the tournament by far. I mean, that was such a perfect ending too. I mean, what a shot, what a moment. I mean, you want that. You want one of those memorable moments in the Final Four. Because the other game wasn't as great. So like you can take one really great finish and have it, kind of, I guess cancel each other out.
Yeah.
I don't know how this game's going to go tonight. I think we can kind of take certain parts of that FAU San Diego State game into what could happen tonight, as in like the worst case scenario for San Diego State. Because for the first time this tournament, a team actually made their shots against San Diego State. Like FAU was making shots and forced San Diego State to score 72 points. So that's the fascinating part for me is, well, what happens if Jordan Hawkins gets going tonight for UConn? If one of the other guards steps up and is making shots and then they're feeding into Sanogo, like, we talk so much about San Diego State's defense. UConn's defense has been phenomenal.
Yep.
Phenomenal. And you look at the teams they've beaten and the way they beat Miami, it's just been a beatdown. And I forget which national college basketball writer put this out there, but they were right when they said, we've spent all this season talking about there's no great team. Well, UConn's been a great team the entire tournament. They've been the best team. You can't sit here and say after tonight, if they win, it's fluky. No, they were hands down the best team, dealt with all the chaos in the best manner, and would hands down be one of the most deserving national champions we've seen in a long time.
Absolutely. And with that, let's go ahead, and DraftKings is showing 7.5, 132.5 is your total money line, plus 300 for the Aztecs, minus 365 for UConn. I think we all are on the same page. Everybody was kind of believing that this would be the numbers. The only question I would have is, 6. It opened at 6. I saw 6 at DraftKings Sportsbook, and I would feel a hell of a lot more comfortable giving 6 than 7.5. Let's just say that much. But
right.
We'll get we'll get a little bit more into these games, or into this game tonight. But just staying with what took place on Saturday for just a second. So we talked about FAU, we talked about San Diego State. What a great game it was. And as you pointed out, Miami and UConn, not so much. But I'm curious, why do we not believe? And I don't know if you do or don't. So maybe I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but if we're going to take something away from that FAU San Diego State game, shouldn't we take away that UConn could very well end up doing what they did to Miami tonight to San Diego State as well on Saturday?
Oh no, that's absolutely kind of that's the point I'm trying to make here with San Diego State is what happens if UConn makes their shots like FAU did.
Gotcha. Yep.
Like this is exactly the blueprint for beating San Diego State, and UConn's been doing it all tournament long. I mean, look at who they've beaten. Iona. Okay, the first half against Iona is probably their worst half of the tournament, but that's good. You want that to be. You don't want to, have your best half of the tournament in round 1, and they come back and Sunogo dominates. St. Mary's, who by the way, one of the best defensive teams in college basketball. Now I know they dealt with an injury. I believe it was Dukas that was out for the second half of that game. But they scored 70 on St. Mary's, which is very hard to do. Scored 88 on Arkansas, who is one of the stingiest teams to play against in the country. That's very difficult to do. And then holding Gonzaga to 54 points. We know Gonzaga likes to go up and down and play in the high-scoring games, and their offense was useless in that game. And then holding Miami to 59 points, and we thought Miami's this offensive juggernaut. I mean, look at the consistency. It's remarkable. Usually there's a team that, when you have these national champions, there's that one bad game or the one game they have to get over. Sometimes for the one seed, it's the second round game, whatever it may be. They haven't had that, and that's what's so remarkable about this title run or potential title run. I think I'm just kind of tipping my pick there for tonight.
Yeah, well, look, I think everybody was on UConn on Saturday against Miami, and look how that played out. So I'm not scared. We got one game left. 2 teams are playing. If somebody out there wants to believe San Diego State's the side, I'm not going to argue it. I'm not going to argue it one bit. I know you and I talked on Friday, and I said, Joe, if San Diego State wins this game, can they beat UConn on Monday? And you said absolutely they could. So do you still feel the same way?
It's got to be perfect. This game, the game has to be under 65. I think. I don't think there's a way for San Diego State to score 70 plus points and beat UConn. I just don't see it with the way both teams have been playing. Honestly, I don't even think they'll get to 65, 70 points with the way UConn's defense is playing.
Wow. That's incredible. That's, it won't shock me. But
no, but I feel
that's
like
how you lead them to a championship. Yep.
We've spent so much talking about San Diego State's defense, and defense has gotten them here, and it has. But UConn's defense has been as good, if not better. So that's the thing is we've circled this narrative about San Diego State, and they're the defense team. That's what they are. That's what we've said. We've beaten everybody's heads. They're the defense and the old team. That's all we've said about San Diego State, pretty much. And then what we say about UConn is, oh, they've just been dominant. Well, how have they been dominant? They're dominant with their defense. Like, yes, they've scored over 70 points in every game, but like they've won by double digits in every game, Sean. Like, that's impressive. And if you even go back to what they were doing before the Big East tournament, I mean, there are very few single-digit victories with them. So and they beat Alabama with 15 points. Remember, way back in November, beat Alabama by 15 points. I forget which preseason tournament they were in, but they beat Oregon, Alabama, and Iowa State. It was PK 85 now I think about it.
Yep, that's what it was.
They beat all of them by double digits. They beat Oklahoma State by double digits, who was on the fringe of making the tournament. Florida by 21 points down in Gainesville. That was when Colin Castleton was healthy for Florida. Like, it shouldn't be a surprise, I guess, because they had that dip in December and January. But at full strength, I mean, this is a fantastic team, and that's why it's so hard. And then we play the UConn narrative, like you know how in college football we've said Texas is back, Texas is back, Texas is back. We've done that whole charade for what, I don't know, a decade now.
Yeah, a couple years. Yep.
UConn actually has followed through with it. UConn is, if they win tonight, is back, because think of the journey they've been on, and it's remarkable because we have a program in our own backyard here in Philly that is literally in purgatory in Temple. UConn gets shoved to the side by all this Big East realignment, and they're in the American. They end up winning in 2014, but that's the really the only sliver of success they had, and they dropped off. Weren't even making the tournament. Kevin Ollie situation happens. They're trying to get out of the wilderness. They hire the right guy in Danny Hurley, and now they're back. They're back, and look, they are one of the blue bloods of college basketball. That's one of the dumbest debates that we do here. But
hey, Coach K said it. Coach K said it. So I think we got to move on from that.
When you think national champions in basketball, you think UConn. Absolutely. Like you think Kemba, you think Shabazz Napier, like
Calhoun.
They don't have the. Yeah, exactly. Khalid El-Amin, Jake Voskuhl, like Rudy. Like you think of all these UConn greats that are I don't know if all of them were part of championship teams, but you remember these names. Like Mateen Cleaves didn't do a damn thing in the pros, but whenever you see Mateen Cleaves on a television screen, you can point to him. You say Flintstones, Michigan State. Like you point to these things. Like there's a reason why we associate Connecticut as one of the top teams in college basketball. So it's so cool. It's like watching all these teams and see the program get back to where it is. And it's not discrediting what San Diego State has done. It's just it is so cool to see UConn resurrect its program basically and be back in the championship game. And this only feels like the start for them, right? Whereas with San Diego State, it maybe feels like the end with this group, but also if they get into the Pac-12, are they the team now? I think that's the narrative some people have been starting to push. Like, is San Diego State the dominant power in the Pac-12? Because their basketball program has been fantastic, and it's a great redemption story if they do, because they were 30-2 and supposed to get the 1 seed in 2020. But man, it's so hard to ignore just how consistently dominant UConn's been this season.
All right. Well, once again, DraftKings Sportsbook, where we're getting our numbers from. Let's go ahead and have some fun in this game. Some way, somehow. There's always a play or two, and that will get our attention or get some juice going with a nice payout. We'll see if we can find it. The beautiful thing is it's a championship game, so I don't care what sports book you use. There's going to be a ton of options to get involved in tonight's game, whether it's race to 10 points, 20 points, overtime, alternate spreads, whatever. So let's take a little dabble here and see if we can find something that we agree on. First of all, from the game standpoint, Joe, if I made you wager on it, are you taking UConn minus 7.5?
Most likely. I'm a little hesitant because the number is that way, but
yeah, it's ridiculous.
I mean, but they've been covering like crazy all season long. So it fits right in with the pattern they've had in national championships. Oh, by the way, the national championship games of late have
Talk to me.
not been close, right? I mean, outside of Kansas, North Carolina last year, Kansas makes this incredible
The
comeback.
biggest comeback in
Right.
halftime history. Yep.
But then, like the year before that, Baylor just completely obliterated Gonzaga. That game's over. What? Before the halfway point of the first half, Virginia Texas Tech went to overtime, but Virginia won that game by 8 points. Nova destroyed Michigan, Dante DiVincenzo. So you've had this recent trend where in the last 4 national championship games, only one's been decided by 8 or fewer points. Now, apply that to however your brain operates here, but there is precedent for a 7.5 point spread to be covered in a college basketball national championship. I mean, hell, just look at in college football what Georgia did to TCU, right?
Ugh,
I mean,
don't bring it up.
if you think the dominant team, now UConn's not on the level of pure dominance as Georgia, but you get the comparison here where if you think UConn is the best team, don't overthink it.
Yeah.
Just don't, because stick to what you've been riding with all season long. And I'll be honest with you, because their defense is playing so well, I think I'm just going to say alternate spread, and I think they win by 10.
Yeah, that's where look, if people want to get a little bang for their buck, there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. And that's where I go to. Like I am in agreement with you. I'm not going to overthink it. I am going to go fire on UConn. I've thought that UConn could do it. Here we are. They're in a championship game. It's now is not the time to second guess. San Diego State, very good, very gritty. Look, they were down 13 to FAU. Joe, if they go down 13 to UConn tonight, they're not coming back from that. They're going to lose by double digits. So will that happen? I don't know. If we had to get out our crystal ball here and try and figure out what how the game plays out, let me ask you this: from the race to 10, race to 20, a lot of people love it. I would say for today's game, and of course, you're only going to do it. There are sickos out there that would do UConn race to 10, but that's minus 180. There's no value there. There's nothing there for me. But on the flip side, San Diego State plus 140, plus 180, first to 10, first to 20. Anything there for you that San Diego State gets going, UConn struggles out the gates, and with a price tag like plus 140, plus 180, worth the fun time. If I made you make a play on that, would you talk yourself anyway how into San Diego State race to 10, race to 20?
I could talk myself into it, but I'm not going to value shame either. Like if you think UConn's going to win or this race to 10 points, like and it's minus 180, and you think that's a fair price, bet it. Like I'm not going to sit here and say like
no, I wouldn't either. But that's pricey for my liking. Let's just put
I get what I get what you're saying with the number, but if you're so convinced that UConn's coming out hot start, San Diego State can't shoot because UConn's defense and FAU got ahead of them early. Yeah, bet it. Like, do whatever your game plan says. I'm not here to value shame. Like if that's what you want. Hell, if you want to pick UConn to minus 200 to be the first to 15 in the first half, by all means, go do it, because a winner is a winner at this point, right? Like that's what it is. In terms of game script with San Diego State. So we know they have the defense, right? It's the one thing, if you're betting San Diego State tonight, that you can actually tangibly lean back on is they play really good defense. Now, the concern that seeps into your mind with that is FAU finally broke the code with the 3-point shooting, and UConn can do the same thing. And oh, by the way, UConn's got 2 behemoths down low in Sanogo and Klingon that could counter San Diego State's length, because what San Diego State did throughout this run to the championship game is they've bothered teams with their length, and FAU found a way around it for parts of that game. So yeah, I think if you're betting San Diego State on any of these props here, you got to be confident that the defense holds UConn, or that UConn holds UConn back, because the pressure of being the favorite in a national championship game with all of these eyeballs on you, you're UConn. You're supposed to win this game. You're UConn. That could get to their heads. Very much could. That's the path for San Diego State to not only win this first to 10, but also win maybe something in the first half, because you do open this to, with it being a 7.5 point spread, you open it up to, okay, there's something there, +4 for San Diego State. Like you could convince yourself into these angles for San Diego State. I don't know full game if I could do it, but I think you could make the case, at least to me, and I could listen to it, for San Diego State in some first half capacity. I could see it. I really could. I think UConn's a better team, and I think they win. And I think there might be, if this San Diego State hypothetical comes through, there might be a chance to live bet UConn. I think that's something to look at as well. Like that was my first gut reaction to the line was, I'm going to wait and live bet and see if I can get UConn at a smaller number. But genuinely, I know with you, I can't come in here and be like, oh, I'm just going to wait to live bet, because that doesn't make for good entertainment, does it?
But it's a strategy, and I appreciate that. That's how I got away with betting San Diego State 2 times this year. Was okay, let me see them get out there. And again, that's not the we know that's not the magic sauce, just because you get a chance to see 3 minutes into the game against them versus Alabama, right? Like we know Alabama could easily score 20 in the second half and blow them out. So I'm not trying to say here that's the best way to go about it. But I do feel like, hey, look, to each their own. And in a spot like this, if you said, I'm waiting, I got to see how this one opens up. Want to see some pace. I want to see if UConn just comes out and just starts making everything. And at the end of the day, if I get it, right? Like if you wager, you got to wager on it. It's the final game. But at the end of the game, if you don't get everything you wanted on it, oh, well, there's going to be another game to bet. There's Major League Baseball, there's Masters, whatever. We'll be all right. But I have no issues if somebody wanted to wait. And again, too, with that, Joe, say UConn fires, how lopsided those lines are going to be for the second half. Maybe that's a San Diego State spot, So
yeah,
I'll definitely be intrigued by the live line. I love watching the live line with the game just to see where it goes and doing all the research we do to know what these numbers are beforehand
and look to your point. To your point, the first 2 rounds at least were fantastic for live betting. If you got the right spots, I mean, I think.
Yeah. I bet
for me, I hammered FAU against FDU, and I was watching that line very closely. I'm like, they're going to pull away at some point. Like you could see it. Like, yeah, I think with basketball, particularly the live betting is you got to get a feel for the game. Like if say UConn comes out and just clanks all of their shots, but they're getting open looks. Well, then you can justify, be like, okay, they're missing, but the looks are good. The defense is there. They're not, getting run off the floor. I think that's kind of the path. If you live bet UConn tonight, it's a slow offensive start, but the defense is still there. Like I think that's kind of the way you quantify how to live bet UConn. Now, if you're betting San Diego State, how much value is there live betting them because they're already a 7.5 point dog, right? Because if they come out and do win this race to 10, or maybe they're in it in the first half, you're not getting plus 300 on the money line at halftime if they're leading or if they're close. So I think if you live bet tonight, you're live betting UConn, and I think that's kind of the approach I may take. But I'll be honest, I feel comfortable with them covering the 7.5. The total, I'm kind of wishy-washy, but I feel comfortable with UConn in the 7.5.
Well, you brought up the first half, and Joe, more and more I'm looking at this game. I feel like, and I don't know. Yeah, from the winning perspective, I don't care. I don't care if we get a great game tonight. I just want to win my bet. But
well, you're sitting on the future too with UConn.
Yes,
yes,
that's true.
that needs to be mentioned.
Absolutely. But I'm still, I'm a wacko. I'm still going to be wagering on this game like a champ. And you know what? I'm kicking myself a little bit. Look, going back, I'm when I bet a future, I'm probably a $20 to $25 player. I was. But this one opened my eyes a little bit because I definitely misplayed it. But at the same time, you were talking about November. I liked what I saw from UConn. It's like, it's November, right? Like you have no idea their path. You have no idea who's getting hurt. So I put $5 on a 60 to 1. And of course I'm kicking myself in the backside. Like I wish I put $50 on it, $25, whatever. But I just did it because I said, you know what? I want a ticket on them, and at 60 to 1, what, $5 turns into 300? I'll take that. But now I'm kicking myself in the ass going, dude, like, come on, $5. You couldn't have put $20. You put $20 on everything, but that time you get a one winning bet and you only put $5 on it. But again, that's
such a perfect look into how we approach things, because like I've hit on a few NBA bets in the last few weeks, and I'm like, oh, I wish I'm winning like $200 on a $5 bet. I'm like, that thought does creep in your head. It's natural. We're human. It is what it is. But yeah, like I think the thing I would preach is, and it's just from a gambling as a whole perspective, like it's okay. Like you won, like if you win $300, it's $300 more than you had. Like, totally, and I get it, because I've totally been in that position where I've I have a future bet or like just a big parlay, and I'm like, I hit it and I'm like, oh, imagine what the payout would it be, it was $10. Like, I get it. You're human. So I totally get that side of the fence tonight.
Yeah, no. So we'll see, look, that's where I'm at. But to my one point, I want to say, it's like, I'm looking at this score and I'm looking how it broke down, and that 72-59 went over Miami. Like, I won't be shocked if that game plays out like that. First half line, look at it. 60 is your total. 37-24 was the first half score. So that's 61, right? Mm-hmm. The game itself, 72-59, stayed under that 148. But tonight's game, it's 131.5. Like, I can see this final score being 72-59 UConn tonight, right? So
I can see it being really sweaty with the total.
Yes.
Really sweaty.
I agree. All right. First half line, though, anything there for you for 40 and 60? Anything? It's just such a perfect number with 60. I got nothing. Like, I want to sit here and say under, but I'm only telling you that because I'm hoping that they're going to clank and their heart's going to be jumping out of their chests. But yeah, right. And then they come out and they look like NBA players out there, and they don't miss. And next thing you know, it's 75 at half,
I think we're going to either see two extremes in the first, say, 8 minutes. I think we're either seeing just defense, and more defense, and we're clanking shots. There's no good looks. There's a ton of defensive rebounds and no second chance, or we're flying like that FAU San Diego State first half was. Yep. I really do not think there's a happy medium here. I think it's either going to be one extreme or the other, and that's why my brain is so like, I'm not taking the total, because I could see it going over. I could also see it going under. Like, a 65-60 national championship game isn't bad as long as it's tough, hard basketball, and that goes under. So yeah, I'm just going to stick to my guns. UConn -7.5, and if there's a live betting opportunity, I think I live bet Kansas at halftime last year.
Nice.
If I remember correctly. So yeah, if there's a live betting opportunity, I may dive in and get it, but that probably won't happen until late in the first half.
Here's a little something fun for buzzer beaters here on DraftKings Sportsbook. Plus 4,000. Will there be a buzzer beater in San Diego State versus UConn? Was that our first and only buzzer beater?
Yes.
Yeah, because Furman, there was like 2 seconds left.
Yeah, there were a few others that were just like a second or two left.
Yeah, those are hard to come by. Damn, he almost stepped out of bounds too. Anyways, you know where I was. I was bummed. I 100%. I took the points, but then before the game went off, I found I found an exact matchup. Plus 300 UConn over FAU. So I pushed that in, and that was a loss, obviously, with FAU losing. But what a game, what a finish. All right, staying with tonight's game again. DraftKings Sportsbook, be sure to use Brace as the promo code. They got a lot to offer this evening, and that's what it's all about, the game props. Give me a final score, Joe. Give me something, to work off for a final score, in your opinion, if you had to give me one right now.
I'll go.
So you can get in those windows.
Yeah.
They offer the windows, so I might take a peek at those.
I'll go 70-61 UConn.
7061.
I had to do the math to make sure it fit in 7.5.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, this is great, and that's the winning margins. They got it all there. So DraftKings Sportsbook, once again, to go to overtime. If we do get that, that's only 9-1. That's not enough for my blood there. Winning margin, you said win by 9. So UConn to win by 9, that's plus 450. To win by 7-9, that's plus 450 right
Actually,
there.
I need to correct myself because I did say earlier I think UConn wins by 10. So knock 2 points off San Diego State. Give me 70-59 because I need to be consistent with what I said.
And I'm going 71-59 just because I said it. This game from
are
Saturday
you prices writing me here?
No, I told you the game Saturday night. Oh, 72-59. Sorry.
Yeah.
71-59 is my number though. I'm going 71-59. All right. A little bit of Price is Right in your face.
So Drew Carey going to come out with a new car
Exactly.
if one of us hit that?
Exactly. All right, I'm trying to find the alternate spreads here. That is under game lines, alternate spread. So UConn minus double digits here. Minus 9.5 is plus 125. Minus 10 itself plus 140. 10.5 plus 145. Wow. That is just unbelievable. Hey, look, we know this much. If you believe the Aztecs are going to win this game, you're going to make a boatload of money. But might be able to put a kid through college if San Diego State wins tonight. Oh, I love championship games. I will tell you straight up that I don't do good in them. I have not won a championship game in quite some time, man. That goes back to the Super Bowl.
That's why I'm here, because I think the college ones I've dominated between the last 2 college football ones and live betting Kansas last year. So I guess listen to me.
Yes.
Although you're the one with the UConn future. So who's the real college basketball expert here?
Well, the thing is I put it on in the regular season, and now we're into the championship game, so I'm scared to death that my voodoo is going to come out again. But there's only 2 teams left. Somebody's got to win.
Do you hedge?
I mean, no, I'm not hedging. If I was if my ticket was like 600 to 800, I would hedge some way. But with 300, I said, you know what? So I'm doubling up. A matter of fact, I'll get action on UConn. Yeah, we're balls to the wall. We're at the bank.
Throwing it all in.
Yeah, we're all in. Let's go. I ended up losing last night. I took the under in the Wings game, the Philadelphia Lacrosse Wings game. It was the final home game of the year, and I said, all right, you know what? I don't know what type of juice these boys got. So I took the under, so I lost a little bit yesterday. I took the Mets too, so I went 1-1 yesterday. So it'll be my first wager this evening. We're going with the Huskies. I'm going to go alternate spread with you as well. I'm riding with you at the minus 10, plus 140. I'm going with the 11-point victory or 12-point victory, 71-59. And hopefully we're able to recap a winning game here, Joe. But tell you what, it's been a lot of fun. This tournament's been awesome. Saturday night was really cool. Great time. And you know what makes it better? Nothing better than a winning wager. So hopefully we're able to give some people some advice on tonight's game. Any final words, Joe, before we get out of here?
I hope we get a good game, but I don't know. There's something that speaks to overall just dominance. Like, I get it, Georgia TCU. I keep making this comparison, but I get it. That wasn't a good game, but it was like in awe of like how dominant Georgia was. I think we might end up being in awe of how dominant UConn's been.
Team's been outscoring opponents by 20+ throughout the course of this tournament. San Diego State, tough, gritty, but have been squeaking by. I think it all comes to an end this evening. Right there with you. Joe, fantastic stuff. Jay Tanzi, 90. Be sure to follow him tonight. Read him at BleacherReport.com and, of course, FoxPHLGambler.com. Joe, always a pleasure, and enjoy the games. We'll recap it tomorrow, my friend.
It's April, and you know what that means? Taxes are almost due. Jackson Hewitt can help you win tax season. That's the sound of your maximum tax refund. The sound of getting 50% off tax prep. The sound of many of our competitors' prices going up. And the sound of getting to your nearest Jackson Hewitt. Hurry in for 50% off tax prep before this offer expires April 9th. Limited time offer for new clients filing in participating locations. Max value $200. Visit jacksonhewitt.com/50 for terms.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Ricardo, quote, "This is one of the greatest inventions ever. I know this may sound like I'm exaggerating, but this sucker is amazing. The first time I did it, I couldn't believe what came out of my sinuses. I could breathe with ease. My wife just bought one too. Thank you for this product." Unquote. He's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
Wendy's $3 breakfast deal is a bacon or sausage egg croissant plus small seasoned potatoes for $3. It's the breakfast that don't miss. So if you did miss Wendy's breakfast, don't imagine fresh cracked eggs, sizzling sausage, crispy bacon, and block out those hot, buttery, flaky croissants. Croissants don't really make a sound, but if they did, for a breakfast that don't miss, Wendy's is that breakfast. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's $3 breakfast deal.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Select a request $3 breakfast deal to obtain discount. Not valid for a la carte or combo orders.
When someone gets hurt, we know who to call. But what about a mental health crisis? The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline offers free, confidential support around the clock. Don't hesitate. Call 988. It's okay to not be okay. Remember, 988.
This is Doug Gottlieb. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Staples Stores.
UConn and San Diego State set to battle to have their one shining moment tonight in Houston. Huskies and Aztecs face off for the NCAA Hoops title. Phils will try to get their first win of the season tonight. They visit the Yankees for the first of a 3-game set. Phillies were swept by Texas over the weekend. And one of the NFL's top prospects recently had a private meeting with the Eagles. Georgia defensive lineman Jalen Carter visited Philly, who holds the 10th pick in the draft. I'm Scott Davidson.
Staples Print and Marketing Services help small business print big. Now get $15 off signs, banners, and posters when you spend $75 or more. Offer ends 4/15. Visit staples.com/printbig for details. This is your sign to try Staples, where prints are perfect, guaranteed.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
We're jet up 95 northbound Allegheny to Bridge, Schuylkill westbound Seoul University to Girard, and Jam Boulevard to Belmont, eastbound, so approaching Girard to South. Delays on the Vine Expressway both ways, Schuylkill to Broad. Watch for a crash in Hatfield, Cowpath Road at Berge Road. Ayatollah total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Discover. Discover credit cards do something pretty awesome at the end of your first year. They automatically double all the cash back you've earned. That's right. Everything you've earned doubled. The cash back from trips, restaurants, all doubled. Seriously though, see terms and check it out for yourself at discover.com/match.
The How to Money podcast helps you live a richer life by teaching you how to handle the money you have in a more thoughtful, purposeful way. Join hosts Joel and Matt for personal finance nuggets that actually make a difference in your life.
Well, the number one rule of cheap travel is to let the deal drive the destination. Bali, it might not be on your radar, but if the price is right, it should be.
Right, yeah. When you take this tactic, it allows you to travel more because you're doing it for so much less money.
Listen to How to Money on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The Dell Technologies semi-annual sale is on with limited quantity deals on top tech. Save on select PCs powered by the latest 12th gen Intel Core processors like thin and light XPS 13 laptops, Inspiron laptops, and 2-in-1s. Plus, get savings on select accessories, free shipping, and monthly payment options with Dell Preferred Account. Save today by calling 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match, only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
And now Martha Stewart for Skechers. When I make a dish or embark on a craft project, I always use the finest, most fabulous ingredients and materials. Which is why, when it comes to footwear, I love Skechers. Because Skechers is the comfort technology company and uses the most luxurious, innovative materials and designs to make wondrously comfortable footwear with all the fits and features like Arch Fit and Skechers' world-famous air-cooled memory foam. It's exactly the way I'd make shoes.
Find Skechers at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Your home for Villanova basketball is WDAS and WD273D. Fox Sports Radio Philadelphia.
turn the hallway. Smile like the sun, kisses forever, and tales it never fail. You lie so in the weeds. I bet you wanna ambush me. You have me down, 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 down on my knees. Now would you, Barracuda? Back over time, we were all flying for free. You had the voice in me. No right, no wrong, selling a song. Whisper game. And if the real thing don't do the trick, you better make up something big. You gonna burn to the wick. Ooh, Barracuda. Oh, yeah. Sell you, myself dive down deep down, think I hate you. I think that you got the blues too. All that night and all the next sweat without looking back. Maybe I'm the Western fools. Ooh! Silly, silly fools.
It's the Daily Ticket. Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Odell Beckham on my television screen working out. Where's he working out at? The Vegas. Life's got to be good to be a professional athlete making money like that. OBJ, somebody that I never wanted to do with him at all. But I think you're getting a pretty decent player with Odell Beckham at this stage of his career. And we saw what he was able to do with the Rams. And I don't think the Rams win the Super Bowl without him. I don't think that's overstating it at all. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we got ourselves a special guest in studio, John Jansen. John, you going to join the party?
What party? Where are we partying? When are we partying?
The Daily Ticket.
Right now? Oh, this is the party?
Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. I'll tell you what, you get situated, and then
I'm unzipping my book bag,
and then I'll send you
take the headphones out.
I'll send you the stream, and then you can fire it up and join us on the video because everybody wants to see your beautiful mug.
No, they do not. Nope.
All right. Well, while Jansen is getting ready to go here, and at 4:30 we'll have Gerald Colton. We'll talk all things Philly sports with Gerald Colton, and wow, we were live on Thursday. And the Phillies were lighting the world on fire. And all that was going through my mind was, this is going to be a great year. This is awesome. This team is going to be so fun to watch and watch out. If you would have told me that at that moment, just to let you know, Brace, they're going to lose today and lose the next two to the Rangers over the weekend and get swept, I would have taken that bet. I would have taken that action all day. I said, no way. No way. Not only did they get swept, they got smashed. And I just don't know what I'm supposed to say as far as, like, do you really want a host to get up here and say, oh, the sky is falling? It's 3 out of 162. I got news for you. They're going to get swept again, and they're going to get swept multiple times this year. It happens. It's baseball. Was it pretty? No, not at all. Especially last night with no offense, period, on both sides. At least when the Rangers were winning 16-3, it was somewhat fun. It's just to see like runs being scored. I mean, obviously it wasn't fun from the Phillies fans' perspective, but at least it was entertaining. Last night, okay game. But this Phillies team, not the way that we thought they were going to open up the season. And for a lot of people out there, I'm sure that they're already saying the drastic takes, this is bad, this team isn't going to compete. But let's remember what happened last year. Let's remember how the season started. And of course, you can go around the league too and pull up the MLB standings. And, for instance, we got live action right now, Tracy. The Mets trail the Brewers by 10-0. Mets 3-1 open up the season. From the surprise side of things, I would say Dodgers losing 2. That was surprising. To the American League, the Rays being a perfect 3-0. The Twins, speaking of John Jansen, he was high on the Twins this year. They opened up 3-0. There was a lot of, and the Rangers are 3-0. There was something that DraftKings was floating out there. What team would start 5-0? And there were some big paydays attached to those names. Unfortunately, I did not clip them, so I don't know what exactly the Twins were showing. But I think the Twins, to start a season 5-0, I honestly believe the Twins were like 28-1, 30-1, something like that. And the Rangers, I'll guarantee there were even better odds. So you got 1, 2, 3 on the American League side, perfect right now, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0. Twins, Rangers, and Rays. And on the National League side, I don't think anybody's undefeated. All right, yeah, it's tough sledding to pick a game right, let alone 5 in a row. John Jansen, you ready to join me?
Yeah, sure.
All right, I'm going to email you the link too, so you can have that as well. Your thoughts from the weekend as far as the Phillies are concerned?
It's obviously not great when you give up 27 runs. I think it was in 2 games. Like, I can't be excited about that. I can't be happy about that.
God.
Yeah, it's the beginning of the season.
I
though.
know.
These are bumps that they took last year too. Like last year wasn't all NL East champs or National League champs.
Hell, not
at the beginning
even
of the season.
It wasn't even until September.
Are they even going to make the playoffs?
Yeah.
In the first 2 months of the season, I remember having that conversation about the Phillies. Are they going to even make the playoffs?
Yeah.
Are they even good enough? And then they went on that run in kind of June, July, they turned it on.
We still
especially Kyle Schwarber. And we did, we second-guessed the entire way. And we pretty much second-guessed as soon as they got into the playoffs. So, we second-guessed the Phillies a lot last year. It's baseball, so, things aren't going to always go well, but it shouldn't be going this poorly at the beginning of the year. That was concerning. And I think a couple of things that are really concerning, the bullpen didn't do well at all. And I think also the fact that both of your starting pitchers, your 2 top guys, didn't look like top guys wasn't necessarily good.
Oh, Nolan Ryan? Excuse me. Aaron Nola? I'm sorry. They sound the same.
Do they? They pitch the same, Both great.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. My goodness. I'm not even trying to beat that down, but
no, you are. You are, though.
No, I'm
not.
No, I'm not.
We know how it is.
And it's not going to be a thing with me all season long.
Yeah,
I'm pulling for Mr. Nola.
Are you, though?
But people like you and
Mark
Henry
people
Jr.
like me?
Guys set the bar so freaking high.
Because Aaron Nola set the bar high last year.
First of all, I went back and did my digging. He was not the best pitcher over the last 5 years. He's just not. Is he even top?
Okay, I didn't say that, though.
Okay, so that's number one.
I mean, he's been a very good, very consistent pitcher.
I would say 6. I think I had him 6th. I think I'd take 5 pitchers that have the similar numbers over the last 5 years, and I think I had Aaron Nola 6, which is great. Remember why Aaron Nola was drafted. Remember what happened when Ruben Amaro Jr. pulled the trigger on Aaron Nola. It wasn't to get an ace. I got news for everybody. It just wasn't. It's been amazing that Aaron Nola has pitched at the heights of what he has in his career for the Phillies. He was drafted because they needed someone to come in and automatically get right into the rotation, whether it be a number 3, a 4, a 5 starter. I don't think you're drafting someone to be a 5th starter, but you understand. He was drafted because they needed somebody to get in to eat innings. They had nobody in the starting rotation. And then all of a sudden, Aaron Nola comes up. Ruben Amaro, a hell of a draft pick. Great draft pick. Yeah. One of his best. When he caught heat, because and rightfully so, he was the one that just signed all the paychecks, and anybody could have done that job. But where we're at right now. All right, we talked enough about Aaron Nola. Everybody's
why did I get into another?
Sorry, I brought it up.
Yeah,
I did.
What was that all about?
Talk to me about Major League Baseball. The biggest surprise from the weekend, John Jansen.
Biggest surprise from the weekend. I would say the Phillies getting swept by the Rangers. That would be one of the big surprises.
Not the Phillies.
Not the Phillies, though.
Yes.
I would say the Twins looked really good. I know it was against Kansas City, but As you just mentioned, I was very, very high on the Minnesota Twins. I thought they got their pitching staff to a really good spot this year, getting guys like Pablo Lopez. Now we're going to see with Tyler Mahle because, depth is obviously something that I think the Minnesota Twins don't have an ace, but I think their depth is really good. But guys like Tyler Mahle are going to have to pitch well for that depth to end up working out. So I think Mahle, a big game tonight against Miami, against Johnny Cueto. Now, I might be on the Twins in that one. I'm still kind of figuring out if I can trust Tyler Mahle in that one. But another one, St. Louis Cardinals, they can flat out hit. That may be one of the best lineups in baseball.
Absolutely.
It continues to get better as Lars Nootbaar gets better, Brendan Donovan gets better. And Jordan Walker, I mean, he only had, I think, a few hits. He did pretty well, it seems like, in that series. But I love the way Jordan Walker looked. Brendan Donovan really was the big one in that series against Toronto. And Toronto's a really good team. Toronto's a team that I think could be coming out of the American League to end up going to the World Series. So I think the Cardinals lineup, it wasn't surprising, but they put up a bunch of runs against a really good Toronto team, and that impressed the hell out of me.
Yeah, 23 runs over the 3 games against the Blue Jays to open up the season. They should have swept them, but they ended up coughing up a lead in game 1 on Thursday.
That's going to be one of the best baseball games of the year, and it happened opening day. The back and forth in that game was incredible.
Right now, you got to look at St. Louis, and you have to factor them in. I get it; it's way too early to even go over the top, but there's no way you. But
that's a team that's been around and in the conversation
Yes.
a lot. And I think Jack Flaherty was a guy that they really needed last year and just couldn't get him healthy. And then when he was pitching, he didn't look like himself because of the injuries. Like, he had 7 walks. I don't know what the numbers have been like for walks, if it's gone up because of the pitch clock. So I'd have to look into that. I feel like there have been more walks. He had 7 walks, but still he was able to work through that. 5 innings pitched. He didn't allow a single hit. So I think Jack Flaherty looked good enough for me to think that he can, again, be at the top of that rotation for the Cardinals, because it's not going to be Miles Mikolas, and they can only rely on Adam Wainwright so much. So to see Jack Flaherty kind of outpitch Alek Manoah against a really good lineup in the Blue Jays lineup, that was a great sign for them, because they need that. Their one concern, it's not lineup. Their lineup is going to be top to bottom, one of the best in baseball. I think it's going to end up finishing top 5, top 3 lineup in baseball. But it's pitching and the depth that really concerns me. And we're going to see if that holds up, and especially a guy like Jack Flaherty, if he can anchor in the top part of that rotation. And if he can do that, I think the Cardinals are going to be in a great spot.
All right, John Jansen, I sent you the link, so fire up that stream so everybody can
Did you
see
send me a link? I didn't get a link yet.
Oh, you didn't get a link?
No, I didn't get a link.
Oh, that's a bad job by me.
Yeah,
I sent
who'd you send it to?
I sent it.
You didn't send it to me.
See, now you're going to make me do this on air. Oh, I sent it to myself.
I do that all the time.
I almost did it again. Sorry.
I do that all the time because I send myself stuff so I can have it when I come into the studio.
Yeah.
And it's out of habit. I continue to send things to
That's
myself.
probably, backwards, I would say, in this day and age with all of the tools.
I know there
that
are so many better ways to do it.
apps.
Dropbox
I'm the same way.
and cloud and things like
email
that. But I
everything.
email everything to myself.
Yep. Same thing for me.
And I'm going to have to use my phone. I forgot my laptop charger. Bad job by me.
Sheesh.
There's
There's
brutal.
There's one. Fire up the laptop. There's one here. We can get you another charger.
I have the laptop out. We'll figure it out.
There's chargers here. That's one thing.
My computer?
Yeah.
For this weird thing?
The Apple one, they don't. But I'm sure there's plenty of them around here. All right, look, here's what we got for you. First of all, Gerald Cohen's going to join the party at 4:30. We got live action Tracy happening. Other side, though, we'll get back over to college.
Yeah, we do. We got the Mets getting their butts kicked.
Yeah, man. We'll talk more about tonight's national championship game. John Jansen in studio. We're now streaming at Fox PHL Gambler on socials. Do yourself a favor, follow along, get involved in the conversation. Love to have you. It's the Daily Ticket. Don't go anywhere. More after this.
Stop by Rita's today and try the brand new Berry Delicious Gummy Bear Ice. Be cool. Go to Rita's.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Heads up, we've got a crash in Montgomery Township, Limekiln Pike at County Line Road. Traffic's being diverted around the scene. Also an accident in Euclid Township, Euclid Avenue at Peck Road. 95 northbound busy, stopping over the Vine Expressway up to Bridge. The southbound heavy between Woodhaven and Academy, then further south, Ridley Park to the Commodore Barry. Schuylkill westbound jam, Boulevard to Belmont. Eastbound, so Blue Route to Belmont. Laura Totella, Total Traffic.
This report is sponsored by DBH IDS.
When someone gets hurt, we know who to call. But what about a mental health crisis? The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline offers free, confidential support around the clock. Don't hesitate. Call 988. It's okay to not be okay. Remember, 988.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text DRAFT to 200-300 for your free consultation on top-quality affordable windows or patio doors for $0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text DRAFT to 200-300 right now. Text the word DRAFT to 200-300. Don't wait. Text DRAFT to 200-300.
It's the Marketer's Report. Today, Capital One's Chief Brand Officer, Mark Mentry, weighs in on building loyalty with customers.
Capital One has really worked to create amazing access moments for our customers. Anywhere from when we have a live event, there be customer events ahead of that. We will do sound check parties that only Capital One cardholders can get access to, and we can't pull that off without the relationship iHeart has with the artists, with venues to create these really exclusive events, festivals that iHeart puts on, gives Capital One the ability to create those moments. People are passionate about their favorite artists, and so we try to tap into that together.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to all. Every audience, live conversations, trusted influencers, and the insights and data you need to grow. Not just a media company. iHeartMedia is your access company. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
QC Kinetics patient Diane Richardson saw her brother-in-law have surgery for pain in his elbow.
My brother-in-law, after that surgery, had his arm in a sling for almost 6 months, extensive PT, pain medication, a lot of restrictions of what he could not do.
So when Diane's husband, Greg, had a similar problem, she encouraged a different treatment, regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. And the experience was like night and day compared to his brother.
After 6 months, nothing. He hasn't felt any pain, and that has been 2 years since he's had treatment.
Plus, no drugs and no downtime.
He was literally out golfing when he wanted to and doing whatever he wanted to. It was probably 9 months before my brother-in-law got back out on the golf course, and my husband was on the golf course the entire time. And he was so elated. He goes, Diane, game changer.
Before you have surgery for that joint pain, get a second opinion. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000. That's 215-999-3000. 215-999-3000.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com.
Says she's no good with words, but I'm worse. But they started out a joke of a romantic stuck to my tongue. Way down with words too over dramatic. Tonight it's a can't get much worse. Worse, no one should ever feel like I'm 2 quarters and a heart down. And I don't want to forget how your voice sounds. These words are all I have, so write them. So you need them just to get by. Dance, we're falling apart to have time. Dance, these are the lies you love to lead.
We're dancing. We are dancing. It's the Daily Ticket. You got Sean Brace and John Jansen joining us on a Monday.
Hello.
So the one thing I would say from the draft, the mock drafts that are out there in the NFL, first of all, a lot of outlets are now reporting Jalen Carter had an invite with the Philadelphia Eagles, met with the Philadelphia Eagles today and yesterday. Huh. Could have sworn somebody had that last week.
Who was that?
Could have sworn that we were talking about it here. But again, whatever. To teach their own. Yes, I'm just happy that it came out because it backs
Insider
up
Sean Brace.
what we put out here. Actually, that was from Victor Williams.
That was from Victor Williams.
Yeah, we give credit, baby. Vic. Shout out. Yeah, so Jalen Carter was in the nest, and Drew Rosenhaus, of all people, as if Jalen Carter's situation doesn't get more complicated or isn't complicated enough. Now he's got Drew Rosenhaus as an agent. I didn't know that. And I don't know. It's a good question for Gerald. I think of Drew Rosenhaus as someone that's probably difficult to deal with, but I'm sure.
What makes you say that?
Agents as a whole aren't the easiest, right? That's their job.
Oh, Gerald is very difficult to deal with.
Well, we've never seen Gerald, have to deal with the money. I'm sure he's had his, one or two phone calls that probably were a little heated. I'll take the over on 2, but we'll talk to him about that. Anyways, Drew Rosenhaus is an agent. It is what it is. Look, Jalen Carter is a fantastic talent. Could very well go number 1 overall if he didn't have the baggage. Of course, we're talking about the accident that took 2 people's life down in Georgia, and then just with the pro day, not the pro show, the pro day where my man couldn't even finish the drills, but we know how good he is. Drew Rosenhaus saying, yep, he'll meet with any team that's in the top 10. I don't know. Jalen Carter go top 10 to you, John Jansen?
I would have said maybe a couple months ago that it was a no-brainer, but I don't know. I keep seeing him fall, and obviously, everything off the field and then the workouts itself not going well. You have to think he's got to fall probably outside of the top 10, right? Take a chance on a guy in the top 10 that's that much of a risk?
I would tell you right now that if I'm going to...
Is it a risk? I don't even know.
Well,
is what teams consider that a risk?
100% it's a risk. Yeah. This kid's going through a lot right now. I hate to say it like that, but it's just the reality of where we're at. Like, I don't know. I have no idea what he's talking about, what's going through his mind. All I know is he had buku amounts of money just sitting there to be taken if he just performed like he did. How many years was he at Georgia? Was he a sophomore?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so the 2 years that he was on the field for Georgia, all he needed to do was resemble anything like that for 2 months, and the bags were there. But he has screwed that up, and I just don't know how, who's in his camp, how he's coming off of that, what's he doing to improve that. And that's where the communication between the teams, you got to give them the edge. Like, that's why I never get too dragged in. I don't get all fired up. I don't get dragged into these conversations about draft picks, because at the end of the day, I'll tell you how good the kid was at college. I just don't know what he's saying to these teams. I have no idea. We don't have any clue. So your favorite prognosticator and your favorite procrastinator. That's me. Procrastination is
I don't know. But I could give you a run for your money on that one.
All I know is, like, these conversations, that's where you're going to learn the most about Jalen Carter, right? And we talked to Gerald about that last week, where I said, that's a big deal, Gerald. And when you get a guy like that, the first thing you can do is at least, hey, man, what's been going on? You could find out why he wasn't able to finish a drill. What the hell was going on that week leading up? I could look at him and see if he's slimmed down. Supposedly he put on like 10 pounds for that pro day. I don't know. Can you have him weigh in while he's at the facility? I have no idea, but that's where you're going to make your decision more than anything. Again, we know what he brings to the field. The dude's just a maniac on the inside.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do measurements at the pro day.
I mean, no, when he visits the team.
Oh, I'm sure. Okay. Yeah. I'm sure they might have to do something like that.
All right. John Jansen, I opened up the show talking about tonight's national championship. First of all, Saturday night, where were you?
Not watching the national championship. Or in Final Four. I didn't watch a single second of it. It was Mania.
I mean, are you?
It was
kidding?
Mania.
Are you kidding?
It was WrestleMania. It was night one.
Dude.
It was night one of the showcase of the Immortals. And you want me to skip that? You want me to not watch that?
Do you not have multiple screens? Do you not own an iPad? Do you not own a cell phone?
I mean, I was keeping track of it on like
computer?
ESPN. I was checking the app. I was checking Twitter.
But
and I saw updates.
How does the Final Four not get a screen? Come on.
I don't know what to tell you. I was watching wrestling all day. All day. It didn't stop. And then, of course, the two games come on the same time that WrestleMania does. And it was the best night of WrestleMania. And you want me to skip it?
No, I just want you to watch.
It needs my full, undivided attention.
No, it doesn't.
It comes around once a year. WrestleMania is once a year. I got to watch it.
Final Four gets no love, no screen.
I don't know what to tell you. It's Mania weekend. It was Mania weekend.
What are you talking about tonight?
Priorities.
You're going to talk about Mania all week, for the 2
I
hours?
could. Do you need me to?
I don't
WWE just got sold to Endeavor, which is the same company as UFC. That's big news, right?
Dana
Vince
White.
McMahon has a mustache.
Yeah, that's big
and
news.
dyed his hair. He looks terrible.
Dana White slapped my wife in public. Can't touch me. All I do is get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, Vince isn't any better.
I don't know.
No, I do know.
Vince ever slap his wife in public on camera?
I don't know if he's done that, but plenty of sexual assault allegations his way.
Well, what did we learn in the Ray Rice situation? That's what happens on video. That's even worse, right? I have no idea what Vince, the allegations. So I'm kind of,
No, it's understood that, yeah, I think the public reacts a lot stronger when there is actual visual evidence of something happening.
Yeah.
And the Ray Rice one was probably the best example of that and will always be the number one example of that.
Yes, it was. All right. It's the Daily Ticket. Coming up next, we got Gerald Colton. I hope Gerald's got a take for me tonight.
I can still...
I don't want to hear your take. No.
You don't want to hear my take?
You didn't watch any of the Final Four because
Do I have to? UConn's just going to beat everybody by 20.
Oh, it's that easy, huh?
It's that easy. Bet UConn tonight. Keep it simple.
There it is. John Jansen, everybody.
Bet
Host of the Line
UConn.
Change, 6 to 8 p.m.
I don't know. Has it been wrong to bet UConn?
Where they're going to be talking about The Miz versus Pat McAfee and George Kittle.
And Shane McMahon against a torn quad.
Is Shane McMahon, he was really hurt.
Oh, he was very hurt. He was very hurt. He tore his quad.
I didn't watch.
He was in the ring for 2 minutes.
I did watch last night.
He didn't need to be in the ring in the first place.
I actually was texting you, Edge, your boy Edge.
Yeah, what is he doing with this Brood stuff? I mean, do you remember Brood Edge? No, you don't know who Brood Edge is. You know, the Rated R Superstar. And he continues to do Brood Edge when nobody gives a crap. Yeah, the Rated R Superstar.
All I know is wrestling is insane.
It's amazing.
It is insane.
How can you not? So you watched some of it last night.
I did. I watched some of it on Saturday night too.
Like, doesn't that there's nothing like it. There is literally nothing like WrestleMania.
I prefer
and
the
wrestling.
Final Four was better.
No, it was not.
Absolutely.
No, it was not.
John,
you're telling me it was better than Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes?
Yes.
The legacy that was on the line. Roman
Yes.
Reigns, one of the best title reigns we have ever seen from a WWE superstar. You're going to tell me that Final Four is better than that?
Yes.
No.
It was.
Nope.
It was.
It wasn't, though. You're wrong.
Put it on a poll, McLevin. It's the Daily Ticket. Coming up next.
George Kittle was there.
Yeah, stupid. Gerald Colton's going to join us next. He's coming out. We're going to watch this game tonight at Bankroll downtown. I know Buster's going to be there. Gerald's going to be there.
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to call.
No. I got to do a show. I can't do it.
Well, I mean, the show will be over.
And also, it's the Monday Night Raw after Mania, the best Monday Night Raw all year.
It.
Can't miss it. Thank you, Sean. You're right. You can't miss that.
Daily Ticket.
Must watch TV.
Gerald Colton's
What
next.
is Cody Rhodes going to say? He lost.
Lord have
What is he going to say? What about his father's legacy? He couldn't get the belt. What is he going to say? What is he going to do now? What's next for Cody Rhodes?
I don't know. Gerald Colton's
Tune
next
in tonight,
here,
Monday Night Raw.
Back after this.
The Gambler. Philly's home for all things sports gambling.
Hey guys, this is Keenan Thompson. I have a problem with you. Yes, you. None of y'all told me that AutoTrader has millions of new and used cars that I can shop from home. I thought we were friends. I put smiles on your face, but I'm not smiling. No one told me that with AutoTrader, a dealer can deliver cars to my home or that I could shop by price on AutoTrader. No one. Consider this friendship that you just learned we had officially over. Finally, it's easy. AutoTrader.
Jake from State Farm here to answer your what ifs.
What if I need a policy, but I just can't choose?
An agent can help you choose. At State Farm, we're there for your what ifs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito is back at Taco Bell. And in case you didn't know, it's stacked. Yeah, packed inside it is a double serving of premium grilled marinated steak and a melty 3-cheese layer. Then on top of that, it has a layer of grilled bubbly cheese on the outside. Yeah, the outside. Why? Probably because it refuses to be caged in by the confines of its tortilla walls. Or maybe just to add more cheesy flavor.
Double steak grilled cheese burrito. Get one today, only at Taco Bell. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only while supplies last. Double steak claim is compared to steak quesadilla. Contact store for hours and participation which vary.
Discover credit cards do something pretty awesome at the end of your first year. They automatically double all the cash back you've earned. That's right. Everything you've earned doubled. The cash back from trips, restaurants, all doubled. Seriously though, see terms and check it out for yourself at discover.com/match.
I'm 6 ABC Action News meteorologist Brittany Boyer with your latest forecast. We stay dry and quiet as we head into this Monday night. You can expect partly cloudy conditions and a low of 50 degrees. Heading out the door tomorrow, it's not as cold. We'll have intervals of clouds and sunshine through the afternoon. Our high is mild at 75, and there could be a shower in spots Tuesday evening.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. You do anything to keep your vehicle happy. Let's make sure it stays running smoothly. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, the right parts are just a click away. When you see the green check, you know that part will fit. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
We tend not to think about right now, but right now in front of us is victory over cancer. Right now, cancer research funded by the V Foundation is leading to better treatments and saving lives. When you give to the V Foundation, 100% of your donation goes directly to game-changing cancer research. Victory over cancer is there for the taking by you. Donate at V.org, because today's cancer research is tomorrow's victory.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
It's Greenlee to inbound. 11 to shoot. It's to Martin. Laying it out. Been the star tonight. Giving it back to Davis. With 5 to shoot. Taken on. A rope. And it's blocked. Pulled down by Mensah. They have the one timeout. Are they going to take it or not? They don't have the scorers on the floor. It's Butler with 2 seconds. He's got to put it up. And he wins it. He wins it with the jumper. A San Diego State miracle.
Now, if you listen to John Jansen, that was boring. That final,
it's not boring, but imagine that crowd
beater.
reaction. Imagine that crowd reaction about 10 to 12 times in a span of 4 hours. It was amazing. Imagine a buzzer beater like that, a buzzer beater reaction.
Give me
10 to 12 times for 4 hours.
I don't want to. I want you to give me the comparison. The biggest moment from WrestleMania 2 nights up against that buzzer beater 72-71.
Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens getting the belts over the Usos, one of the best tag team champions of all time, and they get the belt from them. That's historic.
Even worse.
That's the best.
Bringing up wrestlers, I have no
How
idea.
have you not heard of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn? Sami Zayn, the honorary Uso, who was part of the bloodline.
Gerald Colton, he's part of the gambler bloodline here. Joining us right now on a Daily Ticket. Gerald, save me. Good afternoon.
Good answer. I hear this is a party today.
It's a party, all right. It's a party, all right. Some of us are entertained by sports that actually,
Yeah, I'm entertained by sports entertainment.
Yeah.
I'm worried. Jansen has a tough decision tonight. It's Raw versus The Bachelor.
No.
Isn't it?
I was going to say, no, we already got our answer, Gerald. Basketball is losing out to Raw, but you're right. The Bachelor.
I'm sorry.
The
it totally
Bachelor
is out.
that might pull John Jansen. Gerald Colton. Look, it's just so funny. And I'm not here to deny anybody, what they like. No, not at all. And
I feel like that's what you're doing right now.
Well, I have to second guess that. It's the Final Four. Gerald, where do you stand on that? What would be your reaction if you were sitting across the microphone, as you have done so plenty of times, and John Jansen said, I'll pass on the Final Four for WrestleMania. Couldn't even give it a screen, Gerald. Couldn't even give it an iPad screen. Come on, man.
He wasn't my only friend doing that. I gotta tell you, I was shocked by a few people, but I a little bit. I mean, Sean, I've talked to you in the past about my relationship with WWE because I represented a wrestler who got paralyzed in the ring. So I have such a disdain for it. But that has nothing to do with that versus college Final Four on Saturday. To me, this is one of the big sporting events there is. But I understand this is some people WrestleManias as well. Not for me personally. So.
Yeah, look,
anyway.
I watched it. I tuned in both nights.
Have.
I love the fact that you could stream it on Peacock
for now.
So it's easy. But yeah, for now. What does that mean?
Who knows where they're going to be? All those contracts are coming up, and now Vince is back.
So ESPN could be in the running. Amazon could be in the running.
Could be, yeah. ESPN because they have UFC. Who knows?
Yeah. All right.
But can you watch it after the fact also?
But wrestling is in the moment, it's a great live spectacle.
It doesn't matter who wins. Like, was there any great results that were shocking?
Yeah, the main event. Can I spoil it for people? Am I allowed to spoil WrestleMania? I guess I can, right? But yeah, Roman Reigns ended up beating Cody Rhodes, and everybody thought Cody Rhodes is going to win. It was crazy. Shocking result.
Just the fact that you thought you might be spoiling it from something that happened Saturday night says what a joke it is. I mean, should I spoil who's in the NCAA final tonight?
Yeah, should we?
Oh, I love it. Gerald, we got a lot to discuss with you, and we'll move on. Gerald, who's your favorite wrestler of all time, though? If I made you give
that's
me
a
one.
good question.
Your favorite wrestler of all time, who was it?
I go way back, and I really stopped watching so long ago. Droz was my guy who got paralyzed. There was a guy named Georgie Animal Steel.
Yeah, baby.
Yes.
And they did an exhibition. Well, I guess they're all exhibitions, but the Sixers back in the Spectrum in like late 80s, 90s had a post-game wrestling match. And I hung out before the match during the game with Georgie Animal Steel, and he played this persona. He would go bite the turnbuckle and act like he was a really smart, cool guy. So that was that. I would say Georgie Animal Steel was my guy. Or there was the Haiti Kid, because he did an appearance at a bachelor party for us. So it was a total mock that we were pretending to be his fan club, and he slammed my friend who was the bachelor into the wall.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, but they are much more talented athletes than they get credit.
All day.
They
day.
really are.
Yeah, and look, I love our crew, and I got to give you a lot of credit, John, because I did listen on Friday. The WrestleMania Roundtable was very good. More Vaughn Johnson, please.
Vaughn's great.
Jeez.
Yeah, him and Nick have the best wrestling podcast. I'll put that up against any other.
I thought Vaughn was
awesome.
fantastic, and he really made me more interested into the matches and stuff like that. But John, there was a hot button topic, Gerald, for John Jansen, and it was a gentleman's name. You might have heard of him, not Jake Paul, Luke Paul, right?
No, Logan
Paul. There you go. Yeah,
you don't even know who he is.
Yeah, my bad. Well, I mean, he's a badass. He comes in there and he's stealing the shine off of everybody right now, and that bothers Jansen. That bothers him. They are talented. There's a lot of talent. There's, these guys are amazing. Girls too as well. Entertainers.
The best match of the entire weekend was Charlotte Ray Ripley. They absolutely tore the house down, and they beat the absolute crap out of each other.
You hear that, Gerald? We missed the best match.
It's the best match. Night
Charlotte
one.
Van
During
Ripley.
the fight, you guys are watching the Final Four. I'm watching Charlotte Ray Ripley tear it down in front of 80,000 people.
I'm watching San Diego State at the buzzer win. Oh man, I was watching the wrong. But just so you know, John, I after my client got paralyzed in the ring, it was Darren Drozdoff, who had been an NFL player. He was a spectacular athlete, a 6'4" defensive lineman who could stand and do a backflip. And they made the transition, became a wrestler in his post NFL career. He only played a couple years in the NFL, but he was an unbelievable athlete, and just to get to that level, and was doing well as a riser in the WWE. And after his tragedy, I gotta say, Vince McMahon was really, really good to him. I dealt with him a lot. I had a lot of regard for Vince McMahon. So, from that standpoint, the product itself, or the entertainment product it is, I kind of do have a lot of respect for what they've done. And obviously now they're a multi-billion-dollar industry.
All right, Gerald, let's talk about some serious topics here.
No, come on.
All right.
Just gonna take jabs in wrestling all day.
Let's talk about some matters that actually mean something, Gerald. I kid. All right. I'm not.
No. You're doing this now.
Hey, you're talking to a guy who tuned in both nights. All right.
If you're okay with the fact that that it's scripted and the results are predetermined in WWE, and that doesn't bother you, fine. For me, it takes a lot out of watching anything like that.
Yeah.
But I watch movies; they're scripted.
That's true. Yep. There you go. Yeah. All right, let's talk about one of the topics that we discussed last week, because we had it before anybody, and that's unfortunate. I wish people would realize what's happening over here on The Gambler. We got great sources. We put out information a lot before it's out there, whether Joel Embiid's playing, Sixers-related conversation, of course, Eagles. And last week we had Jalen Carter meeting with the Philadelphia Eagles. And I thought that was a big, big deal. I thought that would have got a hell of a lot more headlines. I don't know. It finally out there today. Schefter put out, he met with the Eagles. And Gerald, this happened last weekend, and we spoke about it on Monday, where I asked you, and I took that answer. And a matter of fact, I regurgitated a little bit of it to John Jansen before you joined us, just as far as getting to meet the player and really, that could push you one way or the other about taking a player, especially somebody like Jalen Carter, with what we know he's been able to do on the field and everything that's taken place after the season off the field. But now we know, and I did not know this, maybe I should have, but Drew Rosenhaus is Jalen Carter's agent, and he said that he won't allow his client to meet with the teams that are picking from 11 and above. So anybody top 10, Jalen Carter could go meet. First of all, do you have an issue with that? Number two, Drew Rosenhaus, the agent. Well, is he a good agent? What's type of, what does he bring when he shows up to a complex to meet with a team? Drew Rosenhaus, your take on him as far as being an agent for the NFL.
Sean, do you know how many issues were in what you just set up? there was so much there, but let's take it one at a time. Let's go Drew Rosenhaus. Now, Scott Boras, we know, has become really unbelievably powerful, probably too much so in baseball, and controls a lot of top guys. Now, there was a long time, and it still may go on, where teams actually wouldn't draft a Boras guy because they don't want to deal with Boras. But when you represent the top players, they're going to take the top players. Now, Drew, on the other hand, I will tell you, he is the most unethical person I've ever known in my life. and however, I do have a little bit of regard for him because he's also not a dummy, and he has been clever and created himself as one of the biggest football agents. His clientele has a certain reputation. It's a certain different kind of clientele than a lot of people represent, certainly than the guys I've represented in my career, but obviously Drew's a lot bigger agent than I am. If you have a good player and he's around, he will try to steal him. You ask Jari Evans, my on-air partner, about how many times Drew tried to steal him and all my other guys. I've had to have it out with him a few times. And what I hear from the clubs and negotiating with them is that he is unbelievably, Sean, this is where surprise is going to come in. He is easy to deal with because He gets hired by a ton of guys, but he also gets fired by a ton of guys. And once you do the deal, you're entitled to commission through the whole deal. So he is always getting deals done, and probably slightly less than he should. When you look at his deals as an agent, you see where he doesn't do the best deals. Publicly, they'll sound like good deals because he represents such good players that the numbers are still going to be large. So the clubs have an interesting dynamic where they actually really don't mind dealing with him because they find him to be almost a pushover. However, what they don't want to do is create bad blood in the locker room because he's trying to steal all the other agents, players, and and they don't want to be a conduit to that also because they got to deal with all of us. So he is a double-edged sword. He is a very big presence in the NFL agent community, but you don't hear of his guys having big holdouts, not since Terrell Owens was doing push-ups in the driveway. So he really is not a hard guy to deal with. Now, laying down the gauntlet and saying, I'm not meeting with anybody over 10. Okay, good luck, Drew. You think that's going to mean that he doesn't get picked after 10?
That doesn't make any sense. But also, couldn't a team trade up for him?
There's all sorts of things that could go on. So it's just silly. But here's the thing. And I've watched Drew for a long time now. He speaks in sound bites and his targets are other players.
You should be a politician then.
Well, it is almost like that. He speaks players' language. And when I say he's got a certain dynamic to his players, I don't want to say that they aren't the most cerebral, but you make your own conclusions when you look at his client list. But he's got an unbelievably talented roster. Now, going back to the Eagles, I think character matters so much to this organization that they probably wouldn't run the risk there. And I just think the culture in this team and the locker room and where they've been, I don't think you risk it for this kid. He's not even a can't miss right now with his performance at his pro day, not being in the best of shape and such questionable character. So I don't think he becomes a Philadelphia Eagle, whether it's at 10 or there's maneuvering. But I also don't expect Howie to just sit pat in this draft. So who the heck knows? But if you ask about that kind of line from Drew Rosenhaus, I think we can all agree it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. All right, talking to Gerald Colton. Yeah, the news of the day was that it's confirmed Jalen Carter did visit with the Eagles, and we'll see what happens. Mr. Next Question, Drew Rosenhaus.
Wait, you want to hear one funny quick personal
please.
Drew Rosenhaus? Because he actually surprised me a few years ago where he complimented me to one of my clients on a deal that I'd done, and William Gay was doing a deal at the end of his career, and Drew Rosenhaus said, wow, your agent did a really good job. I would let him know. And that's because all our conversations prior to that had been so unpleasant, which included it goes back a ways. 2001, there was a rookie defensive back from South Florida named Anthony Henry who came in the 4th round, and in his rookie year, he had 10 interceptions, led the league in interceptions. And so after his rookie year, Rosenhaus tracks him down, calls him up, and I get a call from Anthony. He goes, "You're never going to believe who just called me." He goes, "Drew Rosenhaus." And he said to me, "Now that you're big time, you need a big time agent."
Wow. Oh, man. Man.
So I had to call Drew up, and I said, listen, my client told me you just called me. No, he called me. I said, come on, Drew. Why would he call me up and tell me you called him if he called you? Okay. and I said, so we can either have an honest conversation or not. So that was one of many unpleasant conversations I had with him over the years, but hopefully he stays away from my very few guys now.
Yeah, he's still doing it. And he had like the Miami connection. It felt like he was getting all the Miami athletes. Is he venturing out from the Hurricane athletes?
Oh, yeah. He used to actually even stay out of the draft to just get veterans and pick off other people's clients. But, he's ventured out and has an incredibly impressive roster of players.
Okay. All right, Joe, let's talk about some games that are being played on the field and on the court. Let's talk about the Phillies first.
Or in the ring,
Tell you what, I'm about to suplex him before 6 o'clock, right? At Fox PHL Gambler. We'll stream it live. I put Jansen through a table. I like it. All right, let's talk about the Phillies, though, Joe. They made a joke after they got swept last night. I couldn't believe, if you told me after the 3rd inning where the Phillies lit up Jacob deGrom on opening day that, oh, by the way, they're going to lose this game and then lose the next 2 and be swept by the Texas Rangers to start the season, I would have put whatever amount of money up against you. There is no way that I thought that that's how it played out. Unfortunately, it is how it played out. Phillies are now 0-3 with a tough trip up to Yankee Stadium, a team that can slug with the best of them. They got some young players. Volpe's looking really good right now. Going up against nasty Nestor Cortez, who's a minus 175 favorite. Taijuan Walker getting his first start in a Phillies uniform this evening, plus 150. The game last night, they shipped Taijuan Walker pregame to New York, so this way he could beat the team because they didn't get into New York, I believe, till 4 a.m. this morning, they said. Your take on the 3 games, and we understand 162. So what is the question, Gerald, in your opinion, that we should be asking and answering right now about the Phillies?
Well, I don't know that there's one question that comes to mind. I guess part of it is how much are they going to miss Bryce Harper? And now you throw in Rhys Hoskins. And I know pitching was probably more of an issue in first series than anything, because you've got your 1 and your 2 get shelled, and if that's going to happen, it's going to be a long season. It's just that, well, it's a long season no matter what, but it's not going to be a pleasant one. I guess the biggest thing, Sean, I take from it is that it's baseball, and over the course of 162 games, things kind of fall where they're supposed to, but in any individual game or series, anything can happen. And certainly over those 3 games in Arlington, Texas this weekend, the Texas Rangers were the far better team in every regard. It felt a little strange because the pitch clock does have a huge impact. I'm not saying it affected whether the Phillies won or lost. It just has a huge impact. It sort of changes the whole experience. And, Aaron Nola getting staked out to a 5-0 lead and then knocking DeGrom out of the game, and we're in the bottom of the 4th. He hasn't given up a hit yet. And then all of a sudden the wheels fall off.
Yep.
And it happened with the pitch clock. It happened even quicker than usual. And I got to tell you, watching it, I even feel a little stressed out watching that pitch clock. I got to get used to it myself.
Yeah.
But in general, I think that a lineup that, Rhys Hoskins has his flaws, but he was a pretty important part of this Phillies team. And Bryce Harper was the most important part. And even though you've added Trey Turner, it's not without some, question marks. And I don't love necessarily what we're doing in left field, or I don't know. There's certain issues I have, and I don't know that Cassiano looks any different to me than he did last year, but we'll see. It's too early to draw any conclusions. I can tell you, JT Realmuto looks incredible. But that being said, it's such a long season, and you don't panic. You open on the road, and you just don't panic. And but you hope you have a decent series up with the Yankees, because you really could come back 1-5, 0-6 if he's starting it out. And it's just and you do like to get sort of momentum and get out to an easy start where you have that cushion. And now you'll be battling uphill again. It certainly looks like you'll be battling uphill. Hopefully they have a great series at Yankee Stadium. But the biggest thing is we got to be patient, but we got to have better outings from Nola and Wheeler are the 2 most important things to me.
Yeah, no, it goes hand to hand, and you're right. The question is, it's not so much a question. It's like, all right, we need to see what this lineup looks like without 2 of the best hitters that really, did damage last season. And we, of course, know that from Bryce Harper. And sometimes people need to be reminded about Rhys Hoskins and the season that he did have. So, we'll get those answers over time. The good news is that there was a report, I believe, to John Clark that Bryce Harper could be taking pitching and making a minor league appearance a little sooner than what was expected, which is great to hear, great to see. And, getting him back in the lineup. I did not watch the game last night. I was watching WrestleMania.
There you go.
So no, I kid. I was I was unable to hear the interviews, and I heard that there was a sports talk radio host that made an appearance from Philadelphia, like in the 9th inning. But I do believe that Bryce Harper spoke yesterday on the broadcast, so I don't know what he said, but I assume he looks good. He's ready to go. You know that, and when he gets in that lineup, it's going to be a huge difference. But again, it's just a tough way to open the season. 3 losses in a row on the road in Texas, and come on down. You're heading up to the Bronx to take on a Yankees team that looks like they can slug with the best of them. And that's why
they can mash.
Minus 175 favorite this evening. Do you like Taijuan Walker, John Jansen, or do you?
I do. And it's going to be important for him early on because Ranger Suarez is out. This isn't a very deep pitching staff at the moment and dealing with injuries. And Walker is a guy that can eat up some innings. So they're going to need him to pitch well. It's a really tough matchup today, though. Yeah. So, I don't know what to expect from Taijuan Walker. I definitely wouldn't bet the Phillies. But Walker will definitely be important in the meantime while Suarez is out.
My Met friends tell me that he'll be great the first half of the season. That'll fall apart. So
Yeah.
right now we need good.
Yeah, we need good in the first half.
Yeah.
We'll take that all day.
And so you talked about the broadcast last night. They had both ESPN and then ESPN2 has, the A-Rod sort of whatever they're doing.
A-Rod and K. Yeah.
It's a little takeoff on what the Manning brothers do. But they're literally during the game, while he's out of shortstop talking to Trey Turner, it was stressing me the hell out.
It got a reaction on my timeline, Gerald, and a lot of people. I'll tell you straight up, and I'll let you go because I'm in the minority. I love it. I love that. I do. And I didn't see it last night, so I can't specifically talk about that with Trey Turner. But last year, they made a big deal about it. And I think it was something along the lines of whoever spoke to them on Sunday night ended up having a great game or something like that. So there was, build up and anticipation and who the next player is going to be week after week after week. I look forward to it. It doesn't bother. I mean, again, they play 162. So should I really be upset over an inning where Trey Turner is mic'd up?
I am not saying it bothers me. It stresses me out. That's all, because I'm like, because they're if you're saying, okay, what are you thinking here? What are you looking for? And he's like, it's about what's going on. To me, it almost trivializes or marginalizes the amount of concentration necessary to play shortstop in the big league because they're talking about other stuff. That's what that was all. But it's cool to get his perspective. It's cool to to see the ball hit him and say, when the ball's out or
did that happen? Did that happen? Somebody hit a home run when he was mic'd up?
Yep.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, I did see that. But no, that's too gimmicky for me. It's like you can do it. You can do it in the XFL.
There's only so many things you can do.
Yeah, you don't have to do that though. What are you getting out of that? That's going to be. It's not like he's going to give you incredible insight on what's happening in the game.
You just got first person insight on.
It adds nothing.
Oh,
it adds absolutely.
Couldn't disagree more.
I disagree a lot.
The guy hit a home run, and you're hearing it. His instant reaction.
Why do I care? I know his reaction is going to be, man, that sucks.
It's about entertainment. It's about entertainment. And
it's also, at what point does it also have to be about the game, though? It isn't about the game. It's now, look at this access. Look at this access that we have to this player.
Outs.
And it doesn't add anything. It's very gimmicky, and I don't like that. Do it in the XFL. Do it in leagues like that. If you want to do it in a minor league game, cool. In a major league game where these guys, imagine if they were talking to Peyton Manning during the game when he was playing. That would be dumb. You can't do that. Peyton, what's the call here? What are you going to audible to? What are you seeing on the defense?
Yeah, it was the Miz mic'd
Yeah, exactly. What are you going to mic up Roman Reigns? Hey, Reigns, how is it going so far against Cody?
But the other interesting one was when they were talking to Harper. And you heard the comment, I'm sure, by now, because it's been played all over the place. But he slides in. Yeah, we kind of want to take our game back, but that's how it is right now. When he's talking about the pitch clock, which was really interesting. He slid it in and he, kind of just backed off it and didn't confirm it later on when they came back to it. But I just hearing a player being that honest about it, and Harper certainly has been outspoken and honest in the past. It's just to hear the player's perspective. It looks like it's here to stay.
Oh yeah.
All the reports about it are positive, and it's a matter of just adapting to yourself. But when Nola went into his funk that he has unfortunately done way too many times, when he allows the base runner and the wheels start flying off, there's no way to slow it down. And that was that's where I was feeling, wow, this is tough here. But we'll see. I mean, everyone's got to play with it. And everyone's got to adapt to it. And I certainly don't mind games being 2.5 hours instead of 3 hours long.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I absolutely love it. And you're seeing 2 hours and 4 minutes. I just saw the opening day games. 2 hours and 4 minutes. Are you kidding me? Going down to Citizens Bank Park and we're out of there in 2 hours and 5 minutes. Sign me up.
Don't be late.
Even better.
I'm surprised the owners don't mind losing all that extra half hour concession time.
They care. They care. But I didn't see that Bryce Harper comment, so I got to do a little bit digging on that one. Sorry, I was watching.
Yeah. Try to find the clip. It's an interesting clip. Hey, I know we're coming up to 5 o'clock.
Yep.
We got to talk Sixers.
Yes. Get into Sixers. Go for it because same old song and dance here, Gerald. I can't wait. Just one more week. Get me there. Get me to the playoffs already.
It really is a lather, rinse, repeat.
Yep.
It's and you've been saying that they teased us a drop with some wins, but this team has issues, and you wish you didn't have him after all this time and 78 games of this season, because you don't want to head into the playoffs like this. And last night's game against the Bucks, we talk MVP, and Sean, a week ago we saw Joel to really elect to sit out against Jokic, and I have been a big proponent that this is Joel's MVP award, and it sure as hell should be. But I'm really bothered he sat out that game, and all the people inside tell me he was not hurt. He just chose to sit that game out. And that just troubles me. Does that cost him the MVP? If I'm a voter, it very well may, especially since I actually believe that every year Giannis Antetokounmpo is the MVP. He just, is underappreciated, kind of the way Jordan was at times, and even LeBron through his whole career. Those guys can win the MVP every year. And the Milwaukee Bucks have been the best team, and he's the best player on the best team, and I believe also the best player in the league. So, and he plays every night. He He brings it. And then last night in playing the Bucks, and for the Sixers to get to the conference finals and to the NBA finals, they're going to have to, in all likelihood, get by the Celtics in round 2 and the Bucks in the conference finals if they get that far. Things can happen along the way. And right now, it's just hard to see them beating either team. And when you saw them play the Bucks last night, there's lots of reasons it's hard, but the Sixers had 3 guys in double figures, and Harden only had 11 at that. So they had 29 from Maxey, 28 from Embiid, 11 from Harden, and then almost nothing else, except for Paul Reed and House, of all people. Between Milton, George Niang, who else do they come in with? Even Tucker, of course, who starts, and they had a total of like 9 points of 6 guys, and you can't play that way. And we're at the end. Oh, McDaniel's another 0. That was our loan, our big acquisition at the trading deadline. Again, Daryl Morey has struck out in everything he has done for this team, in my opinion. The Harden thing being the big thing, and that's not necessarily a strikeout, but everything else, all the additions, all the depths that you need. And you look at teams like the Knicks who lose a Julius Randle, and they got 4 guys who score 20, and they pick up. I don't know. It's just I'm flabbergasted that this team has so many weaknesses and holes, and is so reliant on Joel Embiid having to score 40 a night to win games. And that's how we're going into the playoffs. And can they win anytime they step on the court? They can, because of Joel Embiid, but they can lose anytime also. And I don't believe we should be there at this stage, as well as last night they cut it to 7 late in the third, and he takes out Joel. And I watched the Bucks, and they put the pedal to the metal right there. And he has Antetokounmpo, Middleton, and Holiday on the court. And over the next few minutes, the lead went from 7 to 22 before Joel comes back in. And Doc refuses to adjust. And by the way, Paul Reed's been balling. Okay, he's been active, he's been aggressive, and he's been a real nice addition to this team in the second half of the season. I don't know why Doc won't ever experiment with Paul Reed playing with Joel Embiid. I think they could play together. And I don't know why over the course of 82 games, you can't find 5 minutes to try it out. Not when you're starting PJ Tucker, not when you're giving Melton all these minutes, not when McDaniels hasn't done jack for you. Now, Dedmon you pick up. And I just don't get it. I'm so frustrated. And I watched Doc really get out coached last night, in my opinion. And that's what would happen if we play that team or the Boston Celtics in playoffs.
Gerald, this isn't the Paul Reed victory tour, sir. Sorry, you're gonna have to wait on that one. But
I don't disagree. And it might sound like comical that I'm pointing out to Paul Reed. Okay.
Doc said that last year. Remember, Doc, that was his line.
I know that's his quote, but it's like when you look at the hustle points in the league and points, like somebody just sent me this before I came on, which was when you look at like stats per minute, Paul Reed is one of the leaders in total rebounds. He's 13th in rebounds per minute. Offensive rebounds, 4th in rebounds per minute. Steals, he's 4th overall. Blocks, he's 8th overall. This is per minute stuff. You might want to try to get him a few more minutes. And you might want to try to get him minutes with Joel Embiid, so Joel Embiid doesn't have to worry about the defense, which he doesn't seem to want to worry about anyhow.
Well, we shall find out how things are going to play out, because the playoffs are fast approaching here. Only a few games left in the regular season, and that's where the conversation is. It's all about the playoffs.
Last thing, UConn. It's hard to see them not covering tonight.
Yeah.
And just to point out also, this would be their 5th championship since 1999. No other team even has 4, though. When you think of college basketball, do you think of them at the top of it? But over the past quarter of a century, they are.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's just a great program, and they've moved on from Calhoun and had Ollie, and they still win. And Hurley's a great coach, and we'll see. I mean, tonight's the night. I think they get it done. It's a big time number 7.5 on DraftKings Sportsbook, but I'm right there with you as far as UConn. I know we'll be watching it together over at Bankroll, Gerald. So look forward to hanging out with you, sir.
Can't wait. Looking forward. Hey, John, come by. You're done at 8 o'clock. Come on over.
Sean didn't invite me. No. It's okay. I don't think I'm welcome.
I'll have him put Raw on like one of the screens in the corner. Okay.
We will get a screen for you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You know what? I might show up.
Lots and lots of screens. All right, fellas.
You the man, Gerald. I'll see you later. There he is, Gerald Colton on the Gambler Hotline. I fat fingered it again. There you go. All right, we'll continue the 76ers conversation. Late for a break, Sean Bernard's going to be joining us, and we'll get caught up on everything from the Sixers and the NBA side of things. Of course, we got games this evening. We still got to hit the MLB card. A lot to do. Daily ticket. Don't go anywhere. More after this.
If you can wager on it, we're talking about Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Crash in Chester County has Route 100 northbound, jammed up between Mountain View Road and the 30 bypass. Traffic's being directed around the scene. Also, the 30 bypass eastbound off-ramp to Route 100 partially blocked. 95 northbound jam traffic Girard up to Bridge Street, southbound so Ridley Park to the Commodore Barry, westbound Schuylkill so Vine Expressway to Girard, and Jan City to Belmont. Large total traffic.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. You do anything to keep your vehicle happy. Let's make sure it stays running smoothly. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, the right parts are just a click away. When you see the green check, you know that part will fit. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Haley, quote, Navage is the best thing I bought. I love it. My nose feels so clear now and I can breathe. I've been struggling with a stuffy nose for weeks. I bought Navage and it's amazing. Or this one. I use Navage every night, could not imagine life without it. I have 5 cats, and before I found Navage, I was a clogged mess. Now I breathe so much better, unquote. Those are 2 of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
The How to Money podcast helps you live a richer life by teaching you how to handle the money you have in a more thoughtful, purposeful way. Join hosts Joel and Matt for personal finance nuggets that actually make a difference in your life.
Well, the number one rule of cheap travel is to let the deal drive the destination. Bali, it might not be on your radar, but if the price is right, it should be.
Right, yeah. When you take this tactic, it allows you to travel more because you're doing it for so much less money.
Listen to How to Money on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
How long does it take to tackle a home project? With Angie, you could cross it off your list before this ad is over. Just tell us what you need. Indoor or outdoor, repair or redesign, and we handle the rest, sending a top pro to get it done. You don't have to lift a finger, except to tap the screen or click the mouse. Plus, Angie is free to use. So bring us your next home project, and we'll bring it home. Download the app or go to Angie.com. That's ANGI.com to get started.
Wendy's $3 breakfast deal is a bacon or sausage egg croissant plus small seasoned potatoes for $3. It's the breakfast that don't miss. So if you did miss Wendy's breakfast, don't imagine fresh cracked eggs, sizzling sausage, crispy bacon, and block out those hot, buttery, flaky croissants. Croissants don't really make a sound, but if they did, for a breakfast that don't miss, Wendy's is that breakfast. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's $3 breakfast deal.
Limited time only. Participating U.S. Wendy's. Select a request $3 breakfast deal to obtain discount. Not valid for a la carte or combo orders.
O'Reilly Auto Parts provides more than just the right parts for your repair. Our professional parts people can also offer free check engine light diagnosis. We can scan your vehicle and provide a list of possible fixes. Find the right parts for you or recommend a great local repair shop. Don't ignore your check engine light. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
iHeartRadio and Pantera are teaming up to send you to the opening night of their summer tour in Pittsburgh.
We'll fly you there, take care of the hotel, hand you 2 premium tickets to the show, some Pantera merch, and you'll meet the band before the show and snap a picture as proof. For a chance to win, just open the free iHeartRadio app and listen to Pantera Radio, and you'll be automatically entered. It's that simple. Get info and tickets for the tour at livenation.com. See Pantera opening night of their tour only from iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio. Your home for Villanova basketball is WDAS and WD27 3D. Fox Sports Radio Philadelphia.
Daily Ticket 5 o'clock hour underway. And I feel, yeah. Recipe Scott Weiland. You got Sean Brace, you got John Jansen in studio. We got ourselves a big national championship game this evening. 1 game left, and then
big Monday Night Raw tonight too.
One shining moment, which is the most overrated.
Whoa. I didn't know you had this take.
Oh, One Shining Moment is atrocious. The song is terrible, and that's all I hear.
It's cheesy. It's fine.
It's terrible.
I don't know if it's terrible.
Yes, it's terrible. I said
Oh
it.
man, I didn't know.
Daily Ticket,
I didn't know you had this take.
Daily Ticket 3 to 6. That show is terrible. No, whoa, that sounded bad.
What did you just say?
No, I'm talking about One Shining Moment. That song is terrible. On this show, we will have that take. From 6 to 8, the line change. You can go ahead and give One Shining Moment its love. But for me, I honestly don't even watch it. I don't stick around for it.
Well, apparently I don't even watch college basketball.
You don't.
So.
Yes. Let's talk to a man who does, though, including the NBA as well. Sean Bernard joining us right now on the Gambler Hotline. You can find Sean at Sean_Bernard1. He does it all. Once again, find him on socials, but for the Philly Sports Network and the Pick Swap Media. And he's joining us right now on the Gambler Hotline. Good afternoon, Sean. How was your weekend, sir? How you doing today?
Yeah, pretty well. Got the Final Four in, building up for the championship tonight. Feels like the Sixers are kind of limping their way through the end of the NBA season, but we're in the heat of basketball right now, so can't complain.
We'll come back to the national championship game. I know you watch a ton of college hoops, and you definitely have an opinion or two on tonight's game, so I look forward to hearing that. Unlike my co-host, John Jansen, who watched WrestleMania all weekend long and did not tune into the Final Four. Yeah, Sean, you want to vote on that poll? What's more important, WrestleMania or the Final Four?
Is Sean Bernard a wrestling guy?
I don't know.
I'm not a wrestling guy, so I am a little, I guess, slanted on this, but it's absolutely the Final Four. I mean, this is Final Four. I would consider the best sporting event all year, so I would not be missing that.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree with you. Thank you, Sean. If you wouldn't mind, go to John Jansen's Twitter.
I mean, the only time I've ever heard
that.
Sean say something wrong, so I'll figure it out.
Vote on that poll, please. All right, you brought it up because the Sixers did look like they were limping last night. Milwaukee Bucks, throughout the course of this season, Sean, I think there was a good portion. Not putting a number on it, but there was a good portion where I would say the 76ers were a better team than the Milwaukee Bucks. Of course, everybody deals with injuries. It took the Bucks a little bit to get going. But as we sit here right now, in your opinion, if the 76ers and Bucks put a 7-game series and 4 of them were being played in Milwaukee, how do you think that series goes?
Yeah, I don't feel particularly great about it at the minute. I think the Bucks have pretty clearly, in my mind, risen to the title favorite across the NBA. I think they've hopped the Celtics in that category. I think that's pretty cemented right now. So they are the top team. It's not just the Sixers issue that they're a tough team to beat, but there's obviously a hurdle that they're going to have to clear if they're going to reach their goal. So they didn't match up with them as well as I had seen them early on in the season. Doc did some interesting things with the lineup yesterday that were a little bit frustrating to me. Georges Niang is having a rough stretch. It's going to be weird to see how he kind of fits into this equation, because I originally thought the Bucks series was one where we could kind of get away with keeping him out on the court for longer. Didn't look that way last night. So I don't know. I don't feel great. The Bucks look like they're kind of peaking at the right time. Chris Middleton's starting to find his stride again. Drew Holiday still playing excellent basketball, and Giannis is still Giannis. So the Bucks look like they're building steam right at the right moment.
Sean, I was talking to Gerald Colton, and he brought up, just asking about the lineup, and that's what you kind of just hit on as far as Doc's decisions. And I'm not one of these guys that really gets too bothered one way or the other. There are moments throughout the course of the playoffs over the years where I'm like, that wasn't the right decision. But I can go back and say that Doc has gotten plenty right over the years as well, in my opinion. But as far as someone that's tuning in and maybe they didn't really pay attention all season long, like what improvements could the 76ers show with changes as far as the lineup is concerned, changes as far as substitutions are concerned? If they made a different substitution last night, were they winning that game in your opinion?
Probably not just straight up on winning that game, but I do think there will be games where it kind of comes down to this. When we get to the postseason crunch where every decision seems to matter more and have such repercussions, there are examples of it. I agree for the most part that I think overall Doc Rivers gets a worse rep than he deserves. There's plenty of things that he is right on. And I think kind of his handling of things is more of the issue than the actual decision, the way he kind of talks to the media and everything that goes along with it. But with that all being said, there is things to nitpick for sure. There was one play that I think the sector of Sixers fans that are all over the Paul Reed hype train, which I'm very much a part of. But there was a play that kind of encapsulated that, where Paul Reed in the same possession, just back-to-back offensive rebounds, both making smart decisions, kicking it out, Sixers miss again, and then next play, kind of him just taking Paul Reed out, trying to go with PJ Tucker at the 5. So the backup center is going to be one that's always watched under a microscope with Joel Embiid. I like what Doc Rivers has been doing as far as the staggering minutes with actually, I might take it back and say what could have changed the outcome, and the issue that I did have last night was him just resting Embiid with the 4 fouls for quite a long time. The Bucks kind of rolled the dice and gave Giannis, allowed him to play through it with 4, and that kind of won them the game and blew it out. Sixers probably weren't winning it anyway, but that definitely kind of put the game away. So that was probably the biggest kind of misstep last night, and that is something that the Doc Rivers watches, that he lives by. When there is foul trouble, he does not trust guys to play through it when you kind of have to, when the stakes are high.
When we hit the fast forward button with only a few games left in the regular season, get to the playoffs, the one bright spot that I think could be a huge difference maker for the Sixers, and I'm sure I'm not alone on this, and again, he had a big night last night, 29. Of course, I'm talking about Maxey. In your mind, if Maxey plays to his potential, and we know, man, he could score with the best of them, he's fearless, getting to the rim. Love everything about Tyrese Maxey, hitting from downtown, including last night, 6 of 7. Do you think that he could be the difference maker when it comes to a 7-game series, whether it's against Boston or Milwaukee? And I hope I'm not looking past whoever they have to play in that first round. But of course, we're talking about winning an NBA championship, getting to the NBA finals. Do you think that Maxey could be that guy that, look, we know Joel Embiid's going to get that 26 to 34 every game, right? We know Harden is probably going to be a little bit more passing, getting everybody involved. It's just the way he is. And of course, he talked about the issues with his hamstring, so on and so forth. Could Maxey be the ringleader after it's all said and done and surprising some people out there? And of course, leading the Sixers to victory in a 7-game series.
Yeah, I think absolutely. It feels like there's 1 to 2 stretches during every game where it's kind of Maxey's time to shine and take over. And he really can catch fire in a way where he just hits 3 straight threes or is able to take guys off the dribble and then take a step back and just pour in a couple points that kind of changes the full momentum of the game and obviously the scoreboard by making things closer, building a difference. I'm also super encouraged by what I've seen from him defensively of late. That's been a real weak area of his game so far throughout his NBA career. He's obviously a guy that's a little undersized, has had trouble. There's been some real flashes of him holding his own. When they played the Mavs last week, there was a moment of him kind of locking up Kyrie that really opened my eyes. And when we look at how they match up with these teams, Tyrese is going to have to guard up. He's matching up with Drew Holiday last night. That's going to be a matchup that he has to at least hold his on. Same with the Celtics. The Celtics like to go big, where Marcus Smart is usually their smallest guy on the court, who's still a guy who has 2 to 3 inches and some good size on Maxey. So it's going to be on Maxey to be able to answer that call and do it. And he's showing signs of late. So I love the confidence. All the indicators of his shot continue to be nothing but positive. And it really does blow my mind. This is going from a guy who the knock on him coming out of college was as a shooter to him truly being one of the most elite shooters in the NBA. So it's just awesome to see. And the Sixers are super grateful for him, and he will have his moments in playoffs for sure.
4 games left in the regular season, Sean. What do we need to know? What are we trying to figure out? Is there anything important over these next 4 games other than let's just get a couple more wins to beef up that win-loss record? Please sell me on the final 4 games of the regular season. Is there anything there?
Yeah, I think health is the biggest thing. They're just trying to make sure there's no issues, getting completely fine. I thought this Celtics game tomorrow was going to be a pretty kind of big matchup to close out the year. For MVP race, I would still say it matters. That's something to watch. If there's a big Joel Embiid performance tomorrow, I think he can kind of lock things up with that and secure kind of the first place finish for MVP. If he doesn't play too well, that could definitely hurt him with that case. I think that voting is going to go pretty down to the wire. Also, the final game against the regular season is against the Brooklyn Nets. That's looking pretty cemented that will be the Sixers' first round matchup. So we'll get a little bit of a preview there. It's obviously not the fearful Brooklyn Nets team that they were at the start of the season, but it'll still be nice to get a little sneak preview, see how they match up and do that. But for the most part, they're just surviving, trying to stay healthy and get ready for playoffs.
All right, let's talk about some big picture items as far as the NBA is concerned as a whole. You know, first and foremost, everybody loves to talk about LeBron and the Lakers, rightfully so. Now people are trying to convince me to watch out for the Lakers. They could win a couple series and they might be a play to, as far as the future is concerned, getting to the NBA, representing the West, or like I said, winning some of these series that they will be in. Where do you stand as far as the Lakers hype train is concerned right now?
Yeah, they got a puncher's chance for sure. And they did a very good job at the deadline of at least giving a LeBron James team a chance. Because once you get him into the postseason, that's when, things kind of open up. Anthony Davis has been playing some really good basketball this year. I'm still a little hesitant on the Lakers train, mainly because of just the health of Anthony Davis. I was kind of talking about this. We remember watching the Sixers early on, how with Joel Embiid, it was like anytime he kind of misstepped or fell, you automatically were like, oh no, he's going to be hurt. It feels like that with Anthony Davis right now. Like he's always grabbing at something. He's lumbering along. And for the most part, the on-court play has been awesome. But if he's a guy that goes down, that really kind of shoots their chances. So that is my biggest fear there. I do also really like the Warriors and the outlook there. Andrew Wiggins finally making his return there. That's a team that hasn't put it together this year, but in my mind, they've earned the respect that they can flip it on once playoffs come, and I think that's a team to watch for sure.
Great minds think alike. That was going to be my next question. And Wiggins, disappeared. I believe it was some family stuff, and I'm not out in the media. I'm not on the West Side, so I don't really remember too much as far as what the details were, but people were saying respect his privacy. He missed a ton of action, and forgive me, like, wasn't he number 2? Like, Steph was the best player on the floor for the Warriors last year. But if Wiggins doesn't play in that finals, I don't think that they win the NBA finals. I don't think the Warriors were as good as they were without Andrew Wiggins last year. So he's a huge piece to their puzzle. He missed 22 consecutive games attending to a family matter. That is according to ESPN.com right here. So Wiggins now back with the Warriors. I'm all about Golden State. I didn't care what they showed us during the regular season. That's a franchise that only gives a damn about playoffs and winning championships. They got that championship mentality. Andrew Wiggins clearly puts him on a better path to repeat, correct?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And he's a guy that statistically doesn't necessarily show up as much, because he's extremely important to that team. Like the Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, even Draymond, Jordan Poole, those guys will kind of collect the headlines, collect the, flashy plays and everything that goes along with it. But Andrew Wiggins is a guy who does the dirty work, is super important to them defensively, getting offensive rebounds, making the right decisions. He's done an impressive job reinventing himself as a player, as a guy who came out with kind of the label and the expectations that he would be a superstar, grade A number 1 option. That hasn't really been what he's become, but he's still a very effective player and very important to what they're doing. So it's a credit to him. I'm happy to see him back. They did reveal it was some health issues with his father. So obviously prayers up there. Glad that's all, that he's doing better and could rejoin the team. But yeah, I do think this Warriors team is alive, and especially for how open the Western Conference team, I think for me, that's probably the best value play right now.
All right. And I'm still all about the Memphis Grizzlies as well. As I said, I have a future just to keep up. I got a future on the Warriors to win it. I have a future on the Sixers to win it. And my latest addition was the Memphis Grizzlies to represent the West in the NBA Finals. Where do we stand right now on the Memphis Grizzlies hype train? I love the attitude. I love the naysayers. I love the people that can't stand Dylan Brooks. That makes me want the Memphis Grizzlies to win more, right? Like I'm in their camp. They have the talent. They're deep. We saw what they were able to do last year. They play great defense. And, of course, John Morant will get you that bucket when you need. Where do you stand on the Memphis Grizzlies? What do you like, and what do you think they need to? What would you like them to improve on with only 4 games left in the regular season?
Yeah, I think that's a fair play too. They're 8-2 over their last 10 games, which is the best rate in the West right now. So maybe that's them peaking at the right time. We've seen Ja kind of rejoin the team. Everything looks to be all good there. I guess my biggest concern with this team is Dillon Brooks. While I do like him quite a bit, I wonder if the role that they have for him might be slightly too big for actually kind of a championship team. And the other concern I have is with Ja Morant as a shooter. When we talk about come playoff time, when teams kind of build this wall, we've seen it with guys like Ben Simmons in the past with the Sixers, and it's obviously not as significant with Ja Morant, but he's still a guy that's like a low 30s three-point shooter. They're going to force him to take that, and there's going to be games where he kind of makes or breaks it. To Ja's credit, he seems to hit the ones in the big moment, and he is a big-time player, and it shouldn't be forgotten that they're a Ja Morant injury away from possibly going to the NBA Finals last year when they did lose to the Warriors team. So this team is close. They're another year matured this year. I like the addition of Luke Kennard at the deadline too. Just a different element. They can run some plays. They do some cool stuff with getting him open off-ball movement for an open three. That's a good element to have for their team. So yeah, there's a lot to like about the Grizzlies. I think that's fair, and yeah, I like that pick a lot.
6-1 to represent the Western Conference in the NBA Finals. One quick question as far as the award season is concerned. Lauri Markkanen is the favorite for most improved player on DraftKings Sportsbook at -400. SGA is in there at +260, and then Brunson is in at 20-1. So we'll skip Brunson, but SGA for OKC. Some people are saying that he has an opportunity to win this. Is this award sealed in your opinion, or do you think that SGA got enough attention from possible voters that he could slide in and win that? For honestly, I think the majority of all these other awards, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, of course, is settled. MVP, I think it's over, but I'm ready to be wrong, man. Joel Embiid is -230 favorite here. I still think Joker is the play, but I digress. Where do you stand on most improved player? Do you think there's still a chance that SGA could get that award this year?
I think it's pretty locked up with Lauri, and the only reason I really say that is I think SGA is kind of starting from too high of a starting point. To me, the most improved award, and I think in the eyes of a lot of voters, is kind of like that player going from a guy who kind of wasn't sure what his path is and then defining it and finding success. That's what we saw with Lauri Markkanen this year. He's been terrific with the Jazz. Been awesome to see his career kind of rewritten because he has bounced around, has really found his role. And SGA, I think, has just been all around too good that he's kind of another level from that most improved award.
All right. Excellent stuff on the side of the NBA. Got the night off because all focus will be on tonight's college basketball national championship. And Sean Bernard does a great job covering all things NBA. He loves the game, college hoops, tweets about it, watches a ton of it. All right. Let's talk a little bit about Saturday night and that finish between San Diego State and FAU. Was that a thumbs up or a thumbs down from you? Because I asked that question, of course, as a sports fan, we loved it, but whether it's filling out the bracket or taking on the money line with such a short spread, a lot of people did have the money line. So that was a big swing. Let's put it that way. Where did you stand on that result?
Yeah, felt good about it. I was all in the right places. So I was sitting on the money line. Gotta love it. Gotta love March. That's kind of one of those, key moments coming down to it. You gotta love the buzzer beater. So I was thrilled with it. I was disappointed it wasn't as fun of a late game later as I was hoping. I kind of expected the Miami UConn game to be the thriller out of the two, but it kind of turned out to reverse. And yeah, we'll see what we're in for tonight. But overall, a good day of basketball on Saturday.
What are we in for tonight, Sean Bernard? That's the question, my friend. 7.5 on DraftKings Sportsbook. Total up a tick now, up to 132. UConn, they're a nasty team. San Diego State, though, gritty. And the fact that they were able to get back into that game really surprised me. So the offense showed up. I don't think that they're going to be able to go down 13 tonight to UConn and come back and win that game. But where do you stand on tonight's national championship?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think we're in it for as great of a game. I do think UConn's going to take care of business, hold a comfortable lead, and make this the win. I keep looking for reasons to believe in San Diego State and for them to get the win, but I just think UConn is too talented, can win in too many different ways. It feels like it would have to go absolutely perfect for San Diego State to have the path paved from the win. It's going to have to be a low-scoring defensive matchup, but UConn built to compete in those too. So I think they're just going to can win it in too many different ways, and one of them is going to work tonight, and UConn's going to cruise comfortably through the game.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's how it plays out. I'm going to be on the Huskies here. I'm rolling with them, and I expect it to be tight. I expect that first half to be tight and maybe look at the under. I know it's so low at 60, but I don't expect UConn to just open up shop and just roll right through San Diego State. San Diego State has some toughness to them. So I think it's going to be tight, and I went over it. There was 2 games that UConn was only up by a point at halftime so far. Iona and St. Mary's. So they're really flexing their muscles in the second half, and I think that that's what we're going to see tonight as well. But we shall see. So you're on UConn minus the 7.5. Minus, where are you at?
Yep, minus the 7.5. And I agree. I think it's going to be a similar case where the game might get off to a little bit of a slow pace, kind of built up a defensive matchup, and then at some point UConn kind of goes on a run that San Diego State is just not able to match. And this is, I mean, they haven't lost by or haven't won by less than double digits throughout the whole tournament. It just feels like if they can, they're going to find a case where they go on a run, they find their stride, and I don't think San Diego State's going to be able to keep with it. So I do think it'll be close in the first half, and at some point the game just kind of bursts open.
Sean Bernard, ladies and gentlemen. Sean, you are the man. Great stuff. Looking forward to talking a little bit later this week. We'll also have some announcements. Sean's going to be doing some things here with us on the station. We're excited to let the people know. But be sure to follow him once again at Sean_Bernard with the number 1. Sean_Bernard 1. Sean, good luck on your plays this evening. Go Huskies. We'll catch up later this week to talk about the 76ers and the NBA closing up shop in a regular season. Thank you, though.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks for having me as always, and talk soon.
My man, there he is, Sean Bernard on the Gambler Hotline. All right, Daily Ticket rolling on. We'll continue talking all things sports going down this evening, and let's get on over to the Major League Baseball card, as DraftKings Sportsbook has a number of games that'll be going off this evening. We did have some live action. We'll update you on some finals there, including the Giants and the Sox. The White Sox are currently in the 9th inning. So we'll update the live action, go over some of the numbers, take a deeper dive on the Phils and Yankees. A lot to do. Don't go anywhere. More Daily Ticket after this.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Heads up, we've had a crash causing problems in Lower Potts Grove, 422 westbound, barely moving Limerick to Saratoga, where everyone's being detoured around the accident scene. Also watch for a crash in Hatboro Horsham Road at York Road. 95 northbound backed up Betsy Ross to Bridge, southbound Copman to Bridge. Westbound Schuylkill, so going University to Girard and City to Belmont. Eastbound sluggish Girard to South. Laura Tutela, total traffic.
This report is sponsored by DBH IDS.
When someone gets hurt, we know who to call. But what about a mental health crisis? The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline offers free, confidential support around the clock. Don't hesitate. Call 988. It's okay to not be okay. Remember, 988.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Tara, quote, "My doctor wanted me to do saline rinses for my allergies, but I've never been able to successfully use a neti pot. Navage uses suction power, so it's foolproof. There are nights when I'll have particularly bothersome allergies. I'll bust it out, and the results are immediate. It's such a relief. It's become a lifesaver," unquote. She's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, Navage, clean nose.
The How to Money podcast helps you live a richer life by teaching you how to handle the money you have in a more thoughtful, purposeful way. Join hosts Joel and Matt for personal finance nuggets that actually make a difference in your life.
Well, the number one rule of cheap travel is to let the deal drive the destination. Bali, it might not be on your radar, but if the price is right, it should be.
Right, yeah. When you take this tactic, it allows you to travel more because you're doing it for so much less money.
Listen to How to Money on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey guys, this is Kenan Thompson. I have a problem with you. Yes, you. None of y'all told me that AutoTrader has millions of new and used cars that I can shop from home. I thought we were friends. I put smiles on your face, but I'm not smiling. No one told me that with AutoTrader, a dealer can deliver cars to my home or that I could shop by price on AutoTrader. No one. Consider this friendship that you just learned we had officially over. Finally, it's easy. Auto Trader.
Your favorite artists are coming to town soon. Don't miss
The Home Team, April 10th, the TLA, Decibel Metal and Beer Festival featuring the Black Dahlia Murder, the Fillmore Philly, Manchester Orchestra, and Jimmy Eat World. Saturday, August 26th, the Skyline Stage at the Man. Nothing But Thieves, Friday, September 15th, the Fillmore Philly. Ashnico, September 28th, the Skyline Stage at the Man.
Tickets for these shows and more are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com.
Hey everyone, it's Cassidy Hubbarth from ESPN.
I'm Nico Ramos, a sports broadcaster here in Manila.
Together, we have a new podcast we can't wait to share with you. Hoops Paradise, the Philippines' love of the game.
You know, there's religion, there's politics, and there's basketball. And those are the three things you talk about in the Philippines.
It's a basketball love affair like no other. Listen to Hoops Paradise, the Philippines' love of the game, on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
If you can wager on it, we're talking about it. It's The Gambler.
Live broadcasting Fox Sports Radio, The Gamblers, the Daily Ticket. Couple things from the weekend. Shout out to the Philadelphia Wings, closing up shop on a home season. Our 8th and final home game took place last night, and they won. Great crowds this year. The team's under 500. They're right around 500. I forget what their actual record is, so don't quote me on that. Sorry. I think they're right around 500. Anyways, but the crowds have been amazing this year. And it's like, dude, if this team, and look, it's not for a lack of effort. They're really talented. There's a lot of great names from lacrosse that suit up for the Wings, and games are fun, and it was packed all season long. So, I just want to I imagine what it would be like if the team was like, 2 losses on the year. It'd be unbelievable down there. So shout out to all the Wings fans that showed up this year. A couple games left in the regular season. We'll see, but there's probably not going to be anything home related for the playoffs. John Jansen back in studio with me. Hello, John.
Hello, Sean. How are you doing?
From the weekend. Let's get into this topic because I haven't really discussed it all that much. All I know is women's basketball as a whole has taken such a huge, huge step forward in the last 2 years in my eyes, and more specifically this year than anything I can remember. It does start with that girl, Caitlin Clark. She is absurd. She is Steph Curry. And it's just the range and the tech,
the range, the confidence, how smooth everything looks. It is incredible.
Yeah, she literally has to run through 3 defenders, multiple screens. It is Steph Curry in a college basketball uniform as a girl. It really is. So she could revolutionize the WNBA when she goes. Not this year. She's still got another year, I believe, in college, and I'm excited about that. But all in all, John, and I know I talked to you about this, like the women's game is incredible. They're so skilled, back and forth, and the Final Four was awesome from South Carolina, of course.
Great game.
Yeah, and I was shocked that Iowa beat South Carolina. Was shocked. South Carolina has the best of the best. They were undefeated all season long.
And it was one player. It was one player.
That's it. That's it. It really was. She was taking on everybody, but LSU had more for her, and it was going to take an unbelievable special performance from Clark to do that. Of course, everybody is talking about the nonsense afterwards, and look, nonsense. It is nonsense, and all I like. imagine if it was 2 dudes. That's it. Like,
Everybody be laughing at it.
That's it. I think she should have gotten a technical if there was still time on the clock. I don't care if it was a 10th of a second or 3 seconds. Like, she was taunting her. She followed her. So she should have got a technical, but that's all I got for you. I don't give a damn about the trash talking and like people from my take from afar. It's like, and I try not to get caught up with the timeline. I just don't. Like, I tuned in ESPN this morning. They said classless was trending on Twitter. Who cares? Who cares? Like, they talk trash. It's competitive. It's a high.
It's just crazy, and especially in a sport like basketball, where it has thrived off of this drama and all of these athletes talking trash to each other.
Yeah.
Klay Thompson referencing how many rings that he has when teams are beating him.
Yeah,
we have thrived. NBA has thrived off of that with NBA Twitter. Like, they even reference NBA Twitter a lot, and this NBA culture that has surrounded basketball in general has been this, trash talk, showing up people, but in a really fun and interesting way. And then all of a sudden the women's game is the same way.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes it could be
it can be overbearing at times.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, just like the Russell
But that's what
Westbrook
it is,
yelling
though.
at
But that's-
Dylan Brooks
but that's
last
what
week, calling him
basketball is.
trash.
Like, out of all of these sports, for this to happen in, for basketball to be the one that we're drawing the line on this stuff,
Well,
when it's been this way for
it's
years now in
women.
basketball.
It's women.
But it's women. That's the thing. It's
That's
women.
number one.
That's why, and it's ridiculous.
But
why can't they do that in the same way?
Yeah.
And it's distracting, and it takes away what was. And you just said everybody talks about, women's basketball, it's just not high quality, not good. They're not playing great basketball. I'm sorry. Both teams shot over 50% from the field. LSU 54%, Iowa 50%. LSU shot 64% from 3. Iowa shot 46%. And that wasn't nearly as good as what LSU did.
Yep.
46% wasn't good enough.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Like, this game was a 102-85. That is an
102
insane
points,
score.
yeah.
We are not going to see either of those two teams tonight.
No.
UConn and San Diego State get even close to that. Heck, they might have a tough time scoring 60 in this game tonight.
Well,
they could. I mean, if they get the 70, I get it.
San Diego State's going to have a hard time scoring 60.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. But
it comes down.
We talk about quality, and now all of a sudden we get this quality game with amazing talent. Angel Reese was incredible. Obviously, Caitlin Clark is really good. Jasmine Carson, 22 points, 7 for 8 from the field.
Yeah,
we had incredible basketball.
She didn't score a point any of the
incredible
games.
performances, and all anybody can talk about is, they talk trash.
Well,
I mean, what was
again,
displayed
it's
there
the talking
is something
heads,
that, right, but what's displayed there is what everybody just doesn't think the women's game has, and then they displayed it to them, and all they can talk about is the other stuff because they don't care. People just don't. They will never give credit to what those women have done and what Caitlin Clark has done and what all those players like Jasmine Carson and Reese have done at LSU. It's a shame because that was about as high quality basketball you have seen all season from either the men's. The men's tournament was awful this year, by the way, in terms of quality of basketball.
No, it wasn't.
It was fun. It was fun. No,
now
it was
you're going.
fun.
Now you're
I'm
doing
not
too
going
much.
too far.
You're
We
doing
were
too
literally
much.
talking about this after the first 2 rounds that these games weren't good.
No, and I disagreed with you.
But
totally
they weren't
disagreed.
good though.
They were good.
They were missing shots everywhere. It was bad basketball. But that doesn't take away. That doesn't mean it's not
Kids.
fun. It's still fun.
Yes.
I won't take away from that. It was still a lot of fun. But I'll admit it, the quality of basketball wasn't great. We were seeing, Creighton, San Diego State might have been the worst basketball game I have seen all year from anywhere.
Yeah, but I can give you 5 or 6 off the top of my head.
I know that are really good, but the women's game, we have seen this quality the entire tournament. Iowa, South Carolina was as high quality as it gets. And then we have this game where that was better than anything I think we've seen in both tournaments. That was 102-85, and the shots that they were hitting, the shot selection, how they were creating these shots, it was incredible basketball. But all we can talk about is one of the women decided to do the gesture and talk.
I'll still take Michigan State, Kansas State. That game was awesome. Went to overtime.
was
And
fun.
also the San Diego State FAU game, which you can't talk about because you were watching WrestleMania. So
was
if you
fun.
did watch that game, you might have a different take. See what I did there? You like that? No, you can't see me smiling. Anyways,
I can't see you smiling.
don't forget your charger next time too. All right.
My bad.
Great job today.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's what I'm here for.
Coming up next, John Jensen and the line change. All right. Well, look, I thought it was great. I have no issues with girls talking trash. Like I said, I think she went over the line as far as, running up and following her. It's like, all right.
Nope.
No, well, I mean, come on, man. You get a T for that. You get a T.
Go ahead then. Give her the T.
Yeah,
I don't
should
care.
have tech. Yeah, absolutely. You got to control the game if you're the referee. I don't care if there's a second left or not. So and Clark got a technical for throwing the basketball, as she should. You can't throw the basketball like that. She threw it behind her back in disgust. She was mad. So, but yeah, I don't care. Like, the girls are going to talk trash. I love it. Let's do it. You got to knock them off the throne, and that's
the
cool.
entire sport has been built off of this for the past few years.
I think that both of them are back, which is great. Let's go. Like Caitlin Clark. She is must see TV.
Yes, she is.
And the girl from LSU is outstanding too as well. What the hell's her name? Reese?
Yes.
So I believe she's back as well. So let's go. That's how you build it, man. That's how you build, some battles, and that would be great for women's college basketball as a whole. All right, let's get on over Major League Baseball, close up shop with this, and talk a little bit about some of these games. First of all, live action, Tracy, 12-3, Giants rolling the White Sox. Are the Giants surprising you with their, again, 4 games into the season, somewhat of a hot start, good start here?
Yeah, it's a decent start. I don't know if I'm too surprised if the Giants are still good. Obviously, down year last year. I think what I'm just going to be more surprised by is Chicago. Like, what is the White Sox? Because they had that great year a couple of years ago, but then Tony La Russa comes in, ruins all of it. They still have all of this great young talent, but they're not off to a good start.
They opened up with the Astros, and the Astros can hit the hell out of the baseball still with great starting pitching as well. Would they win 1 out of 3 down there in Houston? I think the White Sox.
I think they split. It was a 4-game series. And they
okay.
split it.
All right. Yeah. Oh yeah, it was. They bookended it, the first and the last game.
Then here comes the Giants in their home opener and put up 12 runs on them.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, again, it's so tough. Like, I want to sit here and be like, the only question that I could have came up with today was like overreaction to the opening weekend, and I didn't feel like throwing that out there. So,
well, one observation I can tell you is
I like the observations from opening weekend.
With Baltimore, the way that they're set up,
dude,
with how great the lineup is,
talk to me,
and how bad their pitching is.
That's my team.
That over every single game is going to look juicy. They just have that perfect combination of, if they don't score 8 runs, the other team is likely going to score 8 runs.
That's my team.
Like the
Die Hard.
And they're going to be fun to watch. I'm going to love watching Baltimore this year. But God, that pitching is terrible.
Look at this.
Somebody that can talk wrestling with me.
Surprise guest.
Please.
What's up, ladies? From Q102, the great Buster in the building. Buster, what's more important, Final Four or WrestleMania?
Oh, WrestleMania.
Thank you.
Yeah, especially from an economy standpoint.
Thank you.
Think of how much a city bids for WrestleMania versus bidding for the Final Four. I bet you they bid higher for Mania.
I bet you
I believe it.
All
And
right.
Mania's here next year.
All right, so why are you smirking?
Mania is one of the biggest global events of the year.
All right. Hang on, program director. Let's have a program director talk.
All right.
What would you do if your nighttime host says on air, I didn't even watch the Final Four this weekend?
Do I run a sports station or Q102? Yeah, I don't know,
Hey,
bro.
Wrestling is sports entertainment.
I'm like,
okay?
you couldn't give it a screen. You didn't give it an iPad. You didn't
I
watch it on your
needed,
cell
it
phone.
needed my full undivided attention. I needed to pay attention to Mania.
All right,
I didn't want to miss anything.
What was the big moment from the 2 days of WrestleMania for Buster?
I loved the end of night 1. I loved Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens winning the tag titles from the Usos. I thought that was pretty cool.
The Usos.
Yeah.
It was great. I love how the women came on first and they're like, follow that. Like, they put on this
That match
incredible,
was a
one of the
banger,
best
too.
matches,
Yeah.
one of the best women's matches I've ever seen. And then they did follow it up with something just as good and main event where it was awesome.
You
what
want to
they
hear
did.
the worst part about night 2, though, fellas?
What's that?
I had a long weekend.
Uh-oh, you fell asleep.
Match 3.
You were
I passed
snoozing.
out. I didn't even see the end of night 2. So who's worse,
No.
me for missing that or you for missing the Final Four? I don't know, bro.
Damn.
Yeah, but tonight I'm not missing tonight.
No, you're not.
It's the best one. The Raw after Mania is the best Monday Night
I was
Raw.
talking about
Yeah.
the championship.
You're going to- You see where he's at? You see where he's at? He's a nut. He's an absolute nut.
You can't even gamble on wrestling,
No,
bro. I
man.
mean, we
Not
can.
yet. Not yet. Endeavor's going to make that happen.
Okay.
Dana White's gonna make it happen.
Yeah, John Jansen, he's on during the show. And I said, we're going on a bankroll to watch tonight's national championship game. And he's like, man, Raw. Raw's on. This is the big one.
I don't get it twisted. I'll have Raw on the phone.
It's fine.
I'll see what's going down.
I was at the bar last night. We had WrestleMania on the phone.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Yeah.
We had all the Philly games going on because we had the Sixers and the Phils.
All the losses.
Yeah. Shout out to the Philadelphia Wings. They won last night.
Oh, they did win. They did win.
Bang, bang.
Saving Philly.
Yeah.
And then I had my buddy and we had the cell phone on when we were watching the matches. But look, it's great. I mean, the scene was unbelievable. I can't wait to see what Philly does next year.
It's going to be awesome. Did you hear that they booed when they announced they booed inside SoFi Stadium when they announced Philadelphia, when they were like, next year, Philly WrestleMania.
Boo.
And they booed us.
Why wrestling fans don't like Philly?
No, I think
LA.
Nobody likes Philadelphia outside of Philly. So
but
I think
wrestling
in
and
LA,
Philly are so tied together.
California.
Yeah. Roman Reigns still going to have the belt next year?
Well, they're saying it'll be him and The Rock, right? Maybe.
The Rock is going to come out of retirement?
Possibly. It could be his last match. He comes in to put over Roman.
Wow.
Yeah. And right here in Philly.
Oh my
And it makes sense
Lord.
for Philly because you think about it, the last time The Rock really had an appearance in Philadelphia was when he came out at the Royal Rumble and helped Roman Reigns win. He got booed out of the building. So if I'm
The
The
Rock
Rock,
got booed out of the building.
yeah, so if I'm The Rock, I'm going, hey, I need to validate myself to the people of Philadelphia,
Love it.
and I need to beat Roman Reigns in front of him. I can write the story myself.
I
Bryce.
like it. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You can get plastic surgery and look like Vince McMahon too if you want.
Oh, you see the mustache?
What's that?
Oh, it's
The
amazing.
mustache is fierce, dude. That's like that's heel Vince. That's Bizarro Vince.
He is.
That's cartoon villain Vince. Yeah.
He is now in the official territory of Joan Rivers with as much plastic surgery as he's gotten.
He's reupholstered.
Wow.
That's for sure. Yeah.
I mean, you could bounce a quarter off that forehead for a mile. Bing! Like a
Hey, but,
trampoline.
I mean, don't you want to look that good in your 80s or whatever? I mean, good. I don't know if this is a word, but you know what I'm saying.
If my bank
I would like to
account
be a
is as large
billionaire. Yeah.
as
Yeah.
Vince
Yeah.
McMahon
I would
is,
look. I don't care how it looks.
Give me whatever
Yeah,
stupid
man.
mustache you got.
dude, I'm gonna be on a boat like Jimmy Buffett. That's all there is to it, my
Yeah.
man. All right, so bankroll tonight.
Yep.
We're gonna be down there. We're gonna be rocking out. We'll be live on socials, having some fun. We got a great crew. So if you're in the area, you're in Philly, you're looking for a place to watch the national championship game, no doubt about it. Bankroll is the top-notch spot. So check them out on 17th and Chestnut. I want to believe it's
19th.
19th and Chestnut. Okay.
Yeah.
Old Boyd Theater, right across the street from Drinkers. So.
Yep.
If you get a little thirsty, you can slide on over there for some 40s after you're done.
I'm gonna turn up too. I told little girls like, gotta go do this. It's work related. You know,
Yeah.
gotta watch the game.
That's what I tell my wife too.
Yeah.
It's work. It's always work. Unfortunately, I have this is such a kick in the pills.
What?
I'm doing a backyard. Like we're doing everything. It's me and Colin Good. He does landscaping too as well, and we're just redoing my whole backyard to make it nice and neat and nice and clean, and rocks the whole nine. And Wednesday it was scheduled for
Oh, now it got moved to Tuesday
because of the rain.
Oh no! So you gotta like help.
Oh, I'm leading.
Oh,
You're
bro.
leading?
I'm gonna be hungover.
Yeah.
But that's all right.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, I'll be good.
Hey, but this yard though.
Yeah.
When's that grill open though? What's up?
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Jansen, it sounds like party at Brace.
Yes.
It does. He never invites me though.
No, I'm telling
He
you.
brought something once to me.
When
That's it.
we do it, it's gonna be off the chain because we're gonna have the nice Traeger for smoking.
Nice.
And our
Yeah.
friends over at PC Richards and Son, they're I think sending a pizza oven. So yeah, we're gonna be the Casa de Brace is gonna
Whoa.
be rocking this summer.
All
I'm
right,
looking forward to
cool.
it. Looking forward to the night, Buster.
Let's go.
Bankroll once again, Buster from Q102 sliding on
Yeah.
by. Thank you for stopping by, Buster. All right, that will do it for us here on the Daily Ticket. Let me bang the outro here. John Jansen, who did not watch a minute of the Final Four,
Hear
will
all
take
of
you
my
home.
national championship takes.
Yeah. Also, Major League Baseball, Phil's coming up at 7 o'clock. So JJ will take you up to first pitch and, of course, cover all things MLB. You will not hear from me tomorrow because I will be working on my backyard. But
Hungover.
yeah, Jansen is in charge of the Daily Ticket, so he'll be holding it
this is what I
down
get.
3 to 6.
I have to pick up all of his slack.
That's all
It's
right.
ridiculous.
I'll be back on Wednesday. Brand new Daily
Do you
Ticket.
do this
at
to your
3 p.m.
hosts? You know?
I do.
I do.
As a matter of
Okay.
fact, they're taking over for me tomorrow. Tonight.
Damn right. Damn right. National Championship Monday. Go UConn. John Jansen's next. Peace.